Introducing Mr. Shaw and his saw.
Well, Mr. Shaw, I'm afraid that your father left everything to his second wife. But he is leaving you this. As a lifelong lumberjack, he states that he hopes that you'll be a man for once and put it to good use. It's time to man up. It's time to man up.
It's time to man up.
It's time to man up.
Mr. Shaw and his saw. Mr. Shaw was nearly cut down in the prime of his life, but he is no longer stumped. He's got a chip on his shoulder now.
No smoking around the kids!
His saw is the law.
I want him dead! He whacked my pimp! Nobody! Find him now!
Mr. Shaw is starting to branch out into the world. But what will he do when the chips are down? Fortunately, he's got the luck of the saw. What will befall our woody hero? Coming soon to a woodshed near you. Mr. Shaw and his saw.
Hello, Jenkins residence?
Why, hello, sir. Is this Mr. Parker Jenkins?
Yes, it is. How can I help you?
Hello, my name's Patches. You called me up about hiring me for a birthday party coming up?
Yeah, right. You're with Clown Brothers?
You're right. I'm Patches, and my brother Giggles is sitting right here next to me. You said 2 weeks?
Yeah, Saturday the 14th.
Well, let me check the books for you. You're lucky duck.
Great. What does the show involve?
It's the most magnificent display of enjoyment you will ever witness.
Do you do magic?
It is truly magical.
Mr. Humphreys, it's good to see you. No sleep in there? Nothing last night?
That's right, nothing. This is eventually gonna kill me.
No one ever ever died of a lack of sleep.
No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of a lack of sleep. No one ever died of
Alright, so if this doesn't work, you do have other things, right?
Oh, I have a lot of things up my sleeve.
Coyne! My house!
The ghosts are moving tonight, restless, hungry. May I introduce myself? I'm Watson Pritchard. In just a minute, I'll show you the only really haunted house in the world. Since it was built a century ago, 7 people, including my brother, have been murdered in it.
I am here, interrupting your scheduled Halloween festivities. This season has always been a special time for me. It is a time where we can let our inner demons walk free. To look into another dimension past the veil of normalcy to the other side, and sometimes there is someone looking back at you. Could it be evil or benign? Only time will tell. Today I have a special treat for you. Boys at BoomBastic Films have come together to give you a festive HoRRoRWEEN Extravaganza. There'll be guests, there will be stories, and most importantly, there will be the celebration of what makes us love this season so much. So without further ado, welcome to BoomBastic's HoRRoRWEEN Extravaganza 2021.
All right, folks. Welcome. Another year. The second annual Super Duper HoRRoRWEEN Extravaganza show. We hope everybody's well out there, you know what I mean? We got the Alexander the Hulk with the gas mask. He's ready for war. Alexander, what are you exactly for this HoRRoRWEEN season?
The air is toxic. I am the gas mask man.
Oh shit, that's a little too real, kid. That's a little too real.
The air is toxic. I must wear this gas mask. Otherwise, my face and lungs will liquefy.
Magnificent. That was a great performance.
Hey.
That was one of the greatest performances of all time. I want to bring it down to one of the visually right now. What I'm seeing is one of the greatest performances of all time, the greatest costume I've ever seen. I'm seeing a man become 2 skulls, ladies and gentlemen. It's a crazy endeavor. But Mr. Ray Bouton, I believe they say it in Germany. How you doing over there, Ray?
Not bad.
I like it. I dig it. I've seen that skull before somewhere. That's a famous skull. It teases some. Yes.
Part of my collection.
Ooh, that looks like an alien skull, if ever there was one. And the next man over here, William Coyne the Third, with the ghoulie himself. We have a ghoulie. We have a real life ghoulie with us for HoRRoRWEEN.
It's a fish ghoulie from Ghoulies 2 here with Billy Coyne.
And then we also have like this miniature type, like a big action figure type thing as well, right? Hey, hey, I was calling you a ghoulie, Bill. I was joshing you. I was pulling your chain.
Yeah,
we have the great.
You were flushing the flapper.
That's what I like to do here. We have the great Billy Coyne, and Billy is he's what do you call those people at the horror conventions that he's a handler, and he handles the ghoulie that goes around and signs autographs and take pictures with people at numerous conventions all around the world.
Sounds good to me.
All right, well, bringing it up top here, that brings me now. At right off the get-go, you would think that this is who? Who would you think I am?
I would say you are Iron Man.
No. You would think that. You would think that it could possibly be.
Actually, here's a wild guess.
Yeah.
Dr. Doom.
Very close, very close. Not quite, but I do. That is a good one. The hood gives it away. Ray Booten, you gotta say MF Doom.
What?
It will be the full spectrum. No, I am my favorite superhero of all time. Iron Man. Okay? Now, for anybody that ain't familiar with Iron Man, it's a masterpiece of cinematic pleasure. Okay? It is up on the YouTube for anybody that would like to see it. It is written and directed by my friend Alexander the Hawk over here.
That is true. That is true.
Many.
The first thing I directed.
Many moons before I ever met Alexander the Hawk, he worked on a sketch show, and he did I think he got to direct one segment, one sketch, and it was Iron Man.
Hey, Peppy, I know it's your birthday. Got you some flowers.
Tony, you know I'm allergic to pollen. Are you trying to kill me?
But I know you'll like these. These are chocolates. Good ones.
What now? You want me to eat these and get fat so I no longer look this good? I don't think so.
You can't say no to Mr. Teddy!
Ah! My sister was mauled to death by a bear! How heartless can you be?
I'd probably have to cancel that mimogram. Knowing her, she probably was trapped in an imaginary box as a young child. Women.
I've been over Alexander Hawk's house before and seen personalized letters from Jon Favreau to Alexander the Hawk.
Well, what can I say? I mean, don't tell anyone, but he and I have an understanding.
Yeah, I agree. I understand too. So, you see, if you go on the tube, you can find it, and it's under there, Iron Man with an M-O-N. I gotta plug it because it's such a fun watch. Such a fun watch. They even gave a preview for it, and there's an uncut version of it for all you diehard collectors out there.
Heck yeah.
Fuck yeah. So I'm gonna do some unmask. I'm gonna unmask. I'm gonna tease the unmask. I don't know. No, I can't tease the unmask. You gotta close your eyes.
Uh-oh. Whoa! Oh my God! It's Matthew Fisher.
I'm terrified.
It was me the whole time.
was me.
See, now it's glowing up. As long as I can terrify Bill, then I feel like I've accomplished something in this light. You know what I mean?
Well, seeing the fact that Matthew Fisher was brave enough to take off that mask, I think it might be safe enough for me to take off mine.
Good man. In 2021, we say, fuck the mask. We got enough of those masks. Rip it off of Frankenstein and fucking toss it aside, dude. All right, we're breaking our chains down right now. Ray just threw off all his fucking clothes. He's naked on the other side. Billy Coyne just goes, what did I sign up for here? Bill says it's not enough.
I've been on enough BoomBastic ventures where I've had to see naked people that I've had to paint. I don't want to see any more naked people.
Naked is good. Naked is good.
Whenever we need to do anything naked, we call Billy Coyne.
Billy Coyne's the best when it comes to stuff.
Yeah, because I have to paint everyone.
I remember we put BC to the test on Victoria, that segment we did way back. And
Rashaba. 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 Rashaba.
It was like 5 or 6 naked people that he had to paint up.
I know, and we're like running out of paint, and I'm like, well, what else do we have that we can resort to? And I found almost like this. It wasn't even a glue, but it was this clear stuff that looked like white paint. Yeah. And I remember we put it on Hawk, we put it on Maggot, and we kind of mixed it up. I remember there was a texture to it that we also wanted. And I want to say there was also like a little bit of oatmeal kind of mixed in there, because I think you wanted like a texture on those bodies, if memory serves correct. So yeah, it's like we needed to cover enough area, but to paint all you guys, that was one of the biggest ordeals from a paint job perspective. But it was fun. Yeah. It was crazy, but it was fun.
We wanted that ragged.
There was too much nakedness I've ever seen on any production I've ever been on, and the fact that it was a BoomBastic venture made it very boomtastic.
Boomtastic indeed. We had the raggedy looking skin. It was very nice. That film, we've talked about that before. That film's kind of got a little bit of a curse to it. You know what I mean? Because we never really dive into the demon devil shit. You know, that's not really, for anybody that pays attention to what we release, that's never kind of our repertoire with our horror and stuff. And I think we're diving, we're mocking. We do a little too much of the mocking of that craft. And it was bad.
It's like we go slightly down that rabbit hole, but we don't go completely all the way down. And then it's a tease.
Yeah.
And it's that taunt. And that's what was really fun about that story.
Yeah, that's why we bring in Billy Coyne. He's such a tease.
Oh, I'm the worst.
Billy Coyne's tease-tastic. That's why he's BoomBastic. Okay. Bill Coyne, last year, did we tell you, we asked you rather, what your favorite costume was when you were a kid?
I only dressed up, like, for the first 10 years of my life, I dressed up, but I don't know. I mean, I think my favorite costume I ever wore was, I was 7 or 8 years old. I had this red carrot top type of hair, and my face was painted white, and I was a clown. And it was my little brother was actually a devil, which was really cute because he looked like the junior from I was about to say Child's Play, Problem Child, but Chucky was also a problem child as well.
Junior Haley?
Yeah, in the first, you remember like I think
Of
it was
course,
the
dude.
first
I
one
love the
when he
prom
dresses
job.
up as the devil. I mean, my little brother wore the same exact thing, and I was made up as a clown. And my mom's also in the picture, and I want to say it was mid to late '80s. I have it around somewhere. I haven't seen it in a while. I think I posted it.
You got a poster?
I said no. I think I posted it.
Oh, okay, good man.
Actually, it's funny. I think I saw a picture of you. I don't know how old you were. Must have been on Facebook. I think you were dressed up as Danny DeVito's the Penguin.
Yes, that was actually that was probably my best Halloween costume. I won in the 4th grade for that costume. And that was made from a family friend. I was made up as Danny DeVito's Penguin, not in the white outfit, but when he's made up as the mayor. That was a custom job that a family friend completely stitched together for me. Don't mind me, that's just the wind. But it's, yeah, 4th grade, I won best costume contest. And that was a great costume. I have pictures of that. Yeah, you've seen that one, Hawk. Yeah, I was taunted for years because at the end of the second Batman, I cried like a baby when Danny DeVito died. And that film had a big effect on me for some weird reason. And I think I just started to learn the greatness of the villain and how there can be a sympathetic aspect to him as well. Frankenstein, very much, so in that regard. But the death of the Penguin just affected me on such a personal level. So I think that's why I really wanted to be that character that year. I have an affinity for that movie, definitely.
Batman's a great costume. I've all you see the people that wear those really really legit costumes. You know what I mean? I've seen some real legit Batman costumes in my day, and I always wish I could rock one. I'm a little too big, I think, to rock a Batman outfit, but I could rock a Fat Man outfit, no doubt. Know what I mean?
I think most of us can work out the Fat Man outfit.
Ray Boots, did I ever ask you last year about a costumes that the little Ray ran around in as a kid?
Well, as a little kid, I probably was about 5 or 6. And I had a particular reason why I liked this one, but it was a Zorro outfit. Now, you got a mask, obviously Halloween, but here's a little kid who got to run around with a sword.
Yeah.
So I got a cape, a mask, a hat, and I got a sword.
Yeah, sword's a big deal.
And yeah, that falls into, a favorite, mostly because I got to play and run around with a sword in my hand.
I remember in my youth, I had a wooden, when people practice karate, they have like the practice swords that are made of wood.
Oh, yeah.
I stumbled into one of them, but they look realistic. I stumbled into one of them, and I was a samurai for I did a good 8 years of my life. I was a samurai. I should get some type of credit for that somewhere.
You still are a samurai, as far
Thank you, Bill. That's exactly what I was looking for. Show's over. Thank you. I can go home now. But hell yeah. Yeah, Darren is collecting swords over there. Our boy Darren, every time I see him on the book, he's got a sword coming through, and he should do a samurai movie. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Bill Coyne doesn't have a samurai sword hanging up somewhere. Just one.
Actually, no, I just remembered because you mentioned samurai. November 1st, I believe. New York. What are they called?
That tomorrow, right?
New York Ninja, which basically has been this underground cult cap classic going back to the 70s, is finally going to be released for the first time on Blu-ray through Vinegar Syndrome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I just ordered Tix, and they announced they're doing an extended cut that they're putting on the disc that's never been seen before. So that should be interesting.
Everybody go cop that. Go grab some Deadly Grounds coffee as well. Sponsors of the Super Duper HoRRoRWEEN Extravaganza.
Whether it's trying to get through the workday or get through the zombie apocalypse, you need a break. When I need a break, I come to Dilly Grounds Cafe for a delicious cup of...
Zombie! Oops, I mean Yahtzee.
Hey, $15, that's a bargain at twice that.
Put it on your tab.
Yeah, you will. All right. Is that mocha?
Strawberry.
Mocha. You ready? You're goddamn right I am.
Games, treats, curiosities. Deadly Grounds. Coffee to die for.
You're a wild man. You know, since we're talking about costumes, I thought maybe we'd dip into some of the famous costumes that they got kicking off this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that one of the big ones this year is going to be the Squid Game contestant. For anybody out there that's caught the Squid Game show on the flicks, you guys keeping up to date with the flicks?
Oh, yeah.
I had to turn it off after 20 minutes.
You couldn't do it?
Just couldn't do it.
Didn't like it?
It wasn't appealing to me. I mean, I felt like I might as well watch Hunger Games or Battle Royale. I mean, it just really just didn't do it for me.
Well, that's the thing. You know, we watched it.
I understand they're trying to be original with their thing, but it's like this felt so recycled. And to say it like that, I really did.
They rode the line a little bit with Battle Royale. I thought I never seen the Hunger Games, so I don't know the exact plot to them, but I assume it's close to Battle Royale.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I watched Squid Game, and I have to admit that I really liked it. One of the problem I had with like Hunger Games. Now I have to admit I haven't seen Battle Royale, so I can't weigh in on that. But with Hunger Games, which is the same problem I find with a lot of movies, because based on Hunger Games was pretty much a teen book, and my biggest problem is that you have the main characters which they focus on, and then you have some other characters that come in, but I never read the book, so I can't say on the books, but in the movies I never connected with any of the characters in it because they always seemed, even the main characters always seemed kind of, cookie cutter. It's like the same exact type of people that you get in any dystopian. And it is a story that has been done many times before. Right. Now, what I liked about Squid Games over, like Hunger Games and some of the other ones that are on the similar idea where you have a bunch of strangers thrown together in a life and death game, is the fact that first, you have the fact that it is a South Korean TV show, which, you have a different culture that you're looking at, and they have their own different, ways of looking at the world and interacting with each other, which was a nice little different of, feel to it just off the bat. And then secondly, the thing is, all the characters involved, even the small ones that are literally only there for like 1 or 2 episodes as showcased, you got a feeling that these are actually real characters. I didn't find any of the characters, cliche or standard. And that's why I liked it. Because even when you had a character who's literally, you only focus on him for one point, and there's this one guy that shows up and has a conversation with the lead guy, asking him to give him number 1 because he's like, I'm always a coward and I never, took a chance to do anything. Let me, for once, take control of my life. This guy's only focused in like 1 episode, and the thing is, I can relate with that character. I can relate with most of the characters in there as being, fleshed out people. And that's why I like Squid Games the way it is.
This guy just made a great point.
Yeah.
You said you made it seem like the origins very much are like Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
I like it.
And that story is a very, I'm glad you thought of that. So, but yeah, I mean, like even like Lord of the Flies, you know, I mean, it's a very primal story, but there are many iterations that we have seen.
Oh yeah.
Nothing wrong with it, you know, and some will be better than others. And that's fine. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the Hollywood system for you, or how, you know, the game is played in the business. There are some iterations, remakes or reboots that'll work and some that won't work.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's whatever the story is that you take from it. Say, let's contemporize it for the now. And if it works, that's great. If it doesn't, all right.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I really like and is that, you know, you talk to anyone and they're always like, well, you know, every story has ever been told. Okay, I mean, there's been, you know, plays, TV, movies. There's so many times where you have the same story and it's told, but when it's told in a different way, when you have a different flavor to it, that's when it's exciting. When people get into kind of the, you know, just the repetition of like, okay, we have a lot of people, they go out, they get killed, you root for some people, you don't root for others. I mean, yeah, it's a story that, I mean, Lord of the Flies is a classic bit of literature within itself. And there has been so many different versions based off of that one idea. And the idea is that you can take an idea that's not original, that has been done a million times before, but if you try to, you know, add a little something else, make like more interesting characters, or try to change the setting, or try to actually put in a bit of commentary within that story within itself, you've made a whole new story. And that's what I like.
Yeah. It plays off like almost like a prison show as well, you know, that confined type vibe. I liked it. I enjoyed it. You know, I thought the characters were a little cliche though, you know, but you kind of get that sometimes. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was a lot of watered down battle royale type stuff. But again, that's not bad. I mean, it's very hard to be very original nowadays. Everything's pretty much been done. But it was fun. They tried to give it a different ending. You know what I mean? It was a good ending. I enjoyed the ending. The ending got to me a little bit, but that's just because I'm an old man. Everything's got to me now. Now that I'm an old man, everything kind of gets to me a little bit when they try and throw a little heart up in there. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, and it was only like what, 7 or 8 episodes.
Yeah,
it's one of those. They're like the British. They only do like 12 episode. Even less than 12, but you know, the British only do like 12 episode seasons, and we usually do like 22, 25 episode seasons.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, that's actually really smart, because a lot of times, now sometimes it works, but a lot of times it doesn't with American TV shows where you have 22 episodes per season. They run out of ideas really quickly.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing that I do appreciate with whether it's British shows or in this case South Korean shows, when they have a smaller amount, they seem to know exactly how many episodes they need to really tell the story they want to tell. And they do that, and they don't try to push the envelope like, well, I don't have an idea, but hey, that they suddenly go into space, or you know, something like that. So the jumping of the shark is a lot less, I find, in TV shows that are more limited to like an 8-season run or something like that.
They do it weekly, I'm guessing, right? An episode a week.
Probably.
They just do it. They do it week long. They do every day of the week. They drop a new episode.
Actually, have any of you guys seen the new season of the new show Chucky?
No, but I seen you talking about it. How it started up. How was it?
It's actually off to a really interesting start, and it's really smart how they have the original creator, producer, and by virtue of Brad Dourif, who has always been the voice, to bring him back. Really smart. The writing is really interesting, and ever since Stranger Things came out, it's like, you know, that demographic has really become almost somewhat of an easy venue to kind of go with storyline for that, you know, for TV shows, you know, especially in that formula.
Yeah.
So it's interesting enough. And I think there's amazing potential here by virtue of bringing not just Brad Dourif back, but, you know, Alex Vincent, and Jennifer Tilly and Fiona Dourif, and basically all these other great actors that are within the franchise to the TV show to see how the character crosses over with this new story. So I think there's going to be a lot of, like, you know, narrative driven that we're going towards, but we're going to be seeing a lot of backstory and learning about the character of Charles Lee Ray. So it's really interesting what John Mancini is doing in this situation. And I really am wishing the best for the series.
Call Sophia.
We got some guests with us here.
Hey.
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 Hello.
How y'all doing over there?
Great. Oh my God, my hair. It's crazy.
Better in French.
Your hair, I'm in a pink shirt. It's Sunday.
So that's what it's all about.
This is our Sunday fun day.
Yep.
As it should be.
Fun days.
It's the only pink I'm going to be in today.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's a good shade on you, Knetter.
Well, thank you. It's good seeing everybody.
You
Hello,
too.
guys.
Hi.
Joe Knetter and Sarah French is with us. How you guys HoRRoRWEENing? You guys getting ready for HoRRoRWEEN over there? Halloween? You guys getting ready?
Actually, like our Halloween is we're going into production on a movie and Thursday, which will take us through till November, and then she's got a movie in Puerto Rico all of November right after that. So our Halloween is kind of fun.
It's foobard.
Yeah, it can be tricky.
But you know, I'm trying to do like last night I did a really great charity event for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and it was called Halloween Hotness. So I was able to dress up as Elvira and you know, do that sort of thing, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great event.
Luckily, I think all of us here are in agreement that Halloween is year round for us.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
exactly.
We've been doing this for so long, between the conventions, the passion we've had for this ever since we've been really young, wanting to work in this genre. So there's the perception of the people like, oh, Halloween's great, but it's like, dude, we eat, sleep, and breathe this. We're genre filmmakers. It's like we love this at heart. Every day is Halloween for us.
The whole John C. name is throwing me, man.
I know.
Oh, it is?
It's freaking me out.
Well, dude, I mean, I haven't seen, like, I mean, the last time I saw you, the first thing you said to me was, and this is when you were drinking at
Oh,
the time.
dude, I didn't even recognize you.
There you go.
Billy Coyne, man.
Francis Kid.
It's like the last thing you said to me, Knetter, was, we're going to do butt stuff. And you gave me the biggest hug. And I'm like, dude, you haven't changed a bit.
Yeah, here's the thing for the listeners, though, that was
Darren Hammer when we were hanging, you know, usually,
I remember the butt stuff, and it was mutually agreed upon.
Yeah,
it was mutually agreed upon.
I want to
the
make
right
that
amount,
clear.
not overdrawn.
Billy was pushing it first.
Just to the second knuckle.
Yeah.
Billy, I gotta say, you look really great.
Thank you.
God, I mean, I didn't even recognize you.
Yeah, well, I've come.
Billy's one on the
just
left.
been changing shit up my diet. I mean, I'm coming down. I was maintaining at 250 for over a decade, and I basically am down to 235 now. And my goal is another 15 to 20 pounds and start building some muscle. And
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys, and plus you guys showed me about like the whole like sugar diet, you know, and basically where you were changing stuff up. So I took some notes from you guys, definitely.
Yeah, the key is to spit, not swallow, because that's empty calories.
Diet advice from Joe Knetter, everybody.
There you go.
Well, I mean, plus, I mean, Knetter, I love that book you did with Borden, Let's Agree to Be Gay. And I actually just heard, and I'm thrilled for Steve, I guess is going to be the moderator on this new Kindred special edition that Synapse is putting out.
Oh, very cool.
So I'm really looking, and I love Steve, and I can't wait to hear his, especially as a moderator, coming in on that.
No, that's cool. I know he does a lot of that kind of stuff with like hosting conventions. He's great at it. And Synapse is great as well. I love those guys.
Ron and May dragged me to my first Guar show. I mean, they're good guys.
No, they're very, very cool. I dig them. So it's good seeing you, Billy. It's been a long time. And we see we got Hawk there.
The Hawk Man.
With his room divider. I can only imagine the sick, fucked up shit behind that.
Usually people have an issue when they see all the corpses hanging behind it. So I try to, you know, keep that kind of world divided from my Zoom world, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to do. You got to split, you know, your extracurricular activities with your, you know, business. That's the way I see it.
Okay. That's amazing. And Matthew, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hello.
Hello.
We appreciate you coming on board and helping with our Pretty Boy premiere.
Yes.
Hey, anytime.
Sponsoring.
Wish you guys could have been there.
Oh yeah.
Next time.
Yeah.
We'll be out there next time. But yeah, we're glad it went great, you know.
Yep. And then
we had a great reception. I heard a lot of people came out for it, from what I heard.
Yeah, it went very well. I mean, we kept a special invite only. And the movie went very well. I mean, Pretty Boy's very different than Blind.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun to see it in a crowd. So we're excited about that. And we're also excited to have Ray here.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Ray Booten over here. He's a co-host of our Mostly Ghostly show.
Ooh.
Very cool.
Medium, and many years in that field. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
You know, so we bring him on. You guys ever have any experiences with any ghost phenomena?
God.
We've actually wrote 2 books about our experiences, one at Waverly Hills and one in Salem. We used to do a lot of ghost hunting type stuff. And
the key word is used to.
Yeah. We kind of, as we drifted into the world of trying to be more positive, we thought, okay, let's try to not stir up weird shit anymore, because things started getting weird. We used to live on a cemetery, and the broken headstones were kept in our garage.
Oh.
So that home had a lot of weird.
There was a lot of dark energy in that home, and we just want to stay away from that kind of stuff.
We love the history, and we loved our time doing that, but definitely from Waverly, it feels like something came back with us. You know, our experiences doing that was fun. Like Waverly Hills is awesome.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Just from a historical standpoint, you know, that's more what we love is history. And then
where is Waverly Hills? I'm trying to remember.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah. Louisville. Okay.
Yeah, and like we love paranormal stuff. It's just, it was one of those things where for I would say about 6-7 years we did it pretty heavily. We toured around, we went to a lot of places, we did a lot of ghost hunting. On our old podcast that Steve and I had, we did a few times a year, we do a live ghost hunt. And we had weird shit happen, you know, things you can't really explain. Like going into starting that, I didn't believe in any of it. I thought it was all like horse shit, and she would believe everything. So we were a good balance.
Yeah.
But very quickly I realized, wait a minute, you can't explain that. Weird stuff started happening. You know, our first place I got in Salem, I got choked, and you could see the handprints. You know, we went into a cemetery and all of our equipment shut off. It wouldn't turn back on until we walked out of the cemetery, and then everything came back full power. Waverly Hills, we saw the shadow people. We saw In the kids
We got some EVPs.
ward, we saw a ball roll 8 feet, stop, and then roll back.
Wow.
We got EVPs telling us to get out. Sarah got scratched at a cemetery once.
Yeah.
3 claw marks down her whole back. Weird stuff that you can't really explain.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
woke, it was 3 a.m. I woke up and I felt this burning sensation on my back, and 3 a.m. on the dot.
Yeah.
And I felt this burning sensation, but I was so tired that I didn't wake up all the way. So I was like kind of half awake. And then when I woke up the next morning, I checked in the mirror and looked, and I had scratch marks on my back.
Yeah.
Because that night I was filming, we were doing like a, what is it? Like a,
You were doing a pilot for
yeah, we were
ghost
shooting
show.
a pilot for a ghost show. So we went to this really super haunted cemetery in Van Nuys or something. And they said that people are known to be followed home and get scratched and things like that happening.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it all makes sense.
Yeah, and it definitely wasn't me scratching her.
No.
Okay.
Not that time anyway.
No.
What's the truth? You like to scratch.
Oh, I don't like scratching. It's a weird thing, and it definitely wasn't semen. I have low acidity semen, so it wasn't like
it was that little squirrel friend of yours from years ago that was coming in.
The squirrels. We miss the squirrels. Our squirrel time. We've have a weird life in that it seems every few years we take up some new passion that we run wild with for a while, and then it kind of dissipates. The squirrels were one of them.
Well, what's our what do we have now?
What do we have now?
Yeah, what's our?
I guess just nothing right now.
Well,
our
actually,
lives
the question for you
are
guys I
boring.
have is, was it by virtue of just all like the physical touching and the negativeness that kind of steered you a little more away from that than where you were before? Yeah.
Yeah, it just was something that we started trying to embrace positivity, because LA is a very negative place. It's just a hard city to live in, industry wise, everything wise. So we just tried moving away from it. Plus, like, I had a cloud of negativity over me for a while, and I got a phone call actually from somebody that Steve Barton knew that asked him for my number because she'd been dreaming of me. In her dreams, I'd been being followed by 3 black masses, and she could vividly see them. And she was worried about me, and I'd never talked to her before. But she had to call me. We had an hour-long conversation where she was going to send me a protection type necklace she was going to make. But she never sent it because like a week after that, she just died. So there was just weird situations where we're like, okay, maybe we should embrace I mean, let's be honest. We formed a cult. We have a cult out here, and the cult is positive. We hold hands and talk about good things, and then the sex stuff's going to start, and then eventually murder. Then we're going to kill people, and
that's already happening.
Yeah. Well,
all I can say is cheers to that, guys.
That sounds like a cult I want to be a part of. I'll be the head wizard. Okay.
There you go.
The cult of Knetter.
Yeah.
What do I say
Well,
in the application?
Listen here, Hawk. It's a cult, not wizardry. So like, we're not going to be weird.
It's alchemy.
Yeah.
Hawk makes everything.
Yeah, as you see, we haven't changed. We're the same people, and this is where you guys go, well, now we're going to actually start the show. We'll be like, what? How are you guys doing? Everything going okay?
Everything's going pretty good, yeah.
You're all East Coast people, I think.
Yeah,
other than Ray. Ray, or where are you from?
I'm Massachusetts.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
We love it out there, especially this time of the year. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because after you guys usually go to Rock and Shock, don't you go up to Salem for about a week or so?
Yeah, we like to spend a lot of time in Salem.
I miss it.
We went up to Bar Harbor, Maine. We like to visit that
Did
area.
a little road trip up there. That was really nice.
In a perfect world, we would live on the East Coast because we like the buildings, we like
the history.
But it's the cold.
Wasn't it Bar Harbor, Maine, where Heather Langenkamp was proposed to by her husband, who I think was working on one of Stephen King's productions?
Probably, because I know most of his stuff, a lot of it was shot up there. I don't know about that. I know Gunnar Hansen lived in Bar Harbor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Beautiful part of the country, but it's cold. And
he was a good author too.
Stephen King. I've never read any of his books.
Gunnar Hansen, I think.
Yeah, no, Gunnar's great. I miss Gunnar. Gunnar was a lot of fun. He's weirdly like, you know, him, Bill Johnson are interesting because they play these just vicious killers, and they're two of the most intelligent, just nice Shakespearean type guys.
That's very weird. I worked with Buddha from Blood for Blood. You guys familiar with Blood for Blood, the hardcore band?
No.
Yeah, it's a band from Charlestown. They got pretty big in that scene. I remember I worked with them. Very screaming. They scream. You know, you guys meet a lot of musicians. You know the deal. And I remember, you know, very violent music. Same thing. I work with a rapper named Necro, and very violent in his music. But when you meet these guys, they're very like, you know, easy to get along with. You know what I mean? No craziness. It's because they get it all out in their music and their art.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I think most of the people in like the metal, hardcore, horror type scene are cool people.
Oh yeah.
It's exactly what you wouldn't expect. Except for me, I'm kind of a piece of shit. Like I'm horrible.
Oh, come on. Yeah, we still love you, dude. We still love you.
Well, that's wonderful. And you can go fuck yourself.
How's the grindcore scene, Knetter?
Grindcore? I like music from Finland, like technical death metal from Finland is great. You know, Frenchie loves that too. And
yes.
Hardcore, like Matchbox 20 and Creed.
Well, I got tickets. Maddie and I were going to go see Rammstein.
Cool.
When they were going to come here to the States. And the thing that's so aggravating about that ticket situation, they didn't do a refund, and they said, "Oh, we're just going to reschedule for the next year." And I haven't heard anything because I don't know. I don't like saying. I'm not trying to say anything negative, but I just think it's a really interesting dichotomy of like, I know, like we are going to come to the States, so that's kind of like, and this doesn't happen very much, so that's one of the reasons why we're still holding on to your money.
Yeah, no, Rammstein's great. I've seen him a couple times.
Yeah. They put on such an amazing
Sarah's seen
show.
him once, but it
wasn't the full show.
Yeah, it was an inside show in a smaller place, so she didn't get the full thing. But we love them.
Yeah.
You know, we love, you know, Germany, obviously having mostly German crew on Blind, and you know, Marcel Walls, who directed Blind and Pretty Boy, being German, is wonderful.
They're so fast.
Yeah.
The turnaround for our movies, like, is within
German precision.
Months.
Yeah.
Like,
they're masterful filmmakers as well, the Germans, just by virtue of the history and the genre. I mean, you look at, like, you know, Fritz Lang, you know, you look at, or even the, you know, the whole, that area of filmmaking going all the way back to the German Expressionism. So it's like, it's in their genes, you know, especially I think they're really good at the evolution of the scare.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very dedicated.
Yeah, they're focused. And like Marcel's one of our best friends, so it's wonderful to, I don't know German, the language, but I pick up the nuances of it. So I catch what he's saying quite a bit. And there's always one time on set where we're super tired and he turns to me, because I script supervise and he directs, so we're always at the monitor, and he talks to me in German, and I just stare at him until he realizes I haven't understood really anything he's been saying. But somehow I still get it.
But you knew.
Yeah.
You know what he's saying.
Yeah, it's the, you know, language of love. You know, I can tell.
Well, Joe, you probably grew up watching enough World War II movies where you must hear Mach Schnell. So it's like, oh, that must mean I have to move quickly.
Yeah, I did not grow up watching World War II movies. But I've started now.
No, I'm kidding.
No, it's we love history. We love, you know, that's kind of getting back to the paranormal, why we did it. It was, even if we didn't have experiences, because like at the Stanley Hotel, we had no experiences there, but it was just a beautiful place. And we love that. If we go into an experience to find the history, then we're never disappointed, you know? Yeah,
it's an adventure in many different ways. You're going in from a spiritual standpoint, but the surroundings could be almost equally as beautiful. So you have to, in that situation, you have to see the glasses half full, even if they might not have the experience. But it's like, wow, we're visiting this beautiful area that is famous for location, even though you might not be witnessing something there.
Yeah,
But just
100%.
the surroundings and how amazing it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like we spent the night at Lizzie Borden house a couple times and never experienced really anything there. But
well, the attic there's something up there for sure.
yeah,
'cause you get the goosebumps, you get the feeling, you know something's there, something's watching you. You just get that feeling.
Yeah, but beyond that, it was more just the history of being there, and that was, we loved that place. We loved Leanne, who used to own it, who passed away, which was a total bummer.
Yeah, she was great.
But the person who did buy it, from what I hear, is still preserving it, not doing anything to it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
have
the new owners like, listen, this is the Lizzie Borden house. We are not going to change a thing. The preservation, the integrity, the story, the history.
Yeah,
we're not going to touch it. We're just.
Do you know if they're still doing the bed and breakfast thing?
They're doing.
I'm not 100. You know what? I think D might know a little more about that because I think he's friendly with the new owner of the establishment.
Okay.
Mostly Ghostly just
I reach out to him.
had some investigators on that went in there like maybe 2 weeks ago, and they did an investigation. I don't know if they stayed overnight. They could have raided. Do you remember if they stayed overnight?
No, I don't think they stayed overnight.
But
oh man, that might be it for that.
Yeah. No,
I hope not.
I think they're going to keep the bed and breakfast because of the amount of money they had to pay for the building.
Yeah.
They need to recoup that in some way.
Yeah, no, but hit up Hammerman. I'm sure he can probably get it.
Yeah, we know Darren knows the person,
Mhm.
which again was a weird coincidence. And then
that's right.
Of course, Leanne dying right after it sold was crazy.
That's nuts.
It's been weird.
You think there's something to that? You think that establishment was such a big part of her? You often hear about couples that they're so big in each other's lives, and one of them passes, the other one passes away. You think that like an establishment could hold that much importance to somebody that when they depart from the person kind of something happens?
I think that's feasible.
I think so.
In this case, I would more lean to, because I don't know the full story of everything, that maybe she was sick and knew she was sick and wanted to make sure it got placed in the right hands prior to leaving. That I would lean more towards that. But I still go into everything as a skeptic. I think it's the way you kind of have to do it. It's weird that we don't do the kind of the paranormal stuff anymore.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Those investigators. It can be fun, at least.
Maddie, almost to answer your question.
Yeah.
I remember one show I was a big fan of was Destination Truth, hosted by Josh Gates. And he did an episode on that Doll Island in Mexico. And the caretaker, Juan Fernandez, and I feel bad but either way, it was a name very similar to that.
Yeah, he'll forgive me.
And he died unfortunately on the premises, and they say just by virtue of the history of this island of dolls, maybe some evil forces, but primarily probably positive forces, but the fact that he was the caretaker of this land. And so I don't know, it's just really interesting because your question just put that in my head, because I think if people are preserving something that is, haunted or whatever historical, grounds or means, maybe it's not anything, negative taking, the force, but with the person going now, they are part of that, part of that, spiritual realm that will be, forever attached to it in a positive context.
Bill Coyne, have you ever had any paranormal activity in your life? I don't think I've ever asked you.
Once. Do tell. I woke up early enough. It was summertime. I went down to the water on Cape Cod and I was fully awake. I remember I was looking out over on the vineyard and I saw my peripheral vision, a woman dressed in white, who was on the water looking out towards the water. And I didn't think anything of it. And then I just looked back, and then I looked back over, and she was just gone. And it was just a little puff of smoke, and that was it.
Huh.
And then I heard stories as I got older, like, you know, there are a lot of people that lost their husbands, you know, on the water. And a lot of widows would go down by the water and just, you know, mourn and grieve. And, you know, I mean, it was quick, it was instantaneous, but I wasn't scared by it. It's just like, there she is, look over, puff of smoke, that's it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And that, for our experience, that tends to be what it is you catch things in your peripherals.
Yeah.
Or it's more how you feel.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you're going to just see a ghost come running down a hallway. Although we've seen the shadow people at Waverly. You know, it's just more how it feels.
Yeah.
In the peripherals. And I in our book, we even discussed most of the times I'm on edibles. So I do also go, okay, that could play a part in a little bit of it at times, not always, because I think sometimes there's substances that can kind of open your mind to certain things.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're on certain substances, I think it does make you a little more, I don't know, maybe open your third eye or like make you susceptible to like things. Me personally, maybe it's because I don't smoke, I don't do things. I have never had experience, but yet again, I'm not one to go looking for one. Yeah, I mean,
you drink, Alex. Don't worry.
Yeah. I don't drink enough. I mean, if I got paid more, I'd be an alcoholic. But since I don't get paid enough, I don't have enough for booze.
Those low street drugs, black tar heroin and shit.
Yeah,
that's a hot, sad story. You gotta get off that.
Heroin is bad news.
Believe it.
Yes, it is.
Mr.
Weed, mushrooms, they're okay.
That's fine.
They come from the ground. It's okay.
Come from the ground, yeah.
Yeah.
Alex is afraid. I think we've tried to get Alex to smoke some weeds in the past, just for mellowing out, relaxing.
Yeah. I've smoked weed a few times throughout it, but I mean, maybe it does something and I just don't feel it. I mean, I don't seem to have.
Alex, I smoked you up and you don't even remember. Jesus Christ, dude, this was years ago. So, you know, Hawk's really good because he doesn't remember if he did anything or not.
Yeah, he blacked out for 2 years. Yeah.
I don't even remember that steamy night, Billy.
It was steamy.
Oh, now it's become steamy.
I'm still haunted by it.
The greatest haunt of all, right, Bill?
Yeah.
Terrifying haunt.
I like it terrifying, Billy.
I mean, you're going to invade Puerto Rico, Hawk, and oh, Jesus Christ. They're in for a tour de force when you come through there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Alex will be going down as well.
Yeah. So I'll be working with you again, Sarah. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I'll be home alone for 3 weeks. So who knows what? I mean, I'm sure I'll reorganize the apartment 3 or 4 times.
Please don't.
Hey, Sarah, I think we.
I mean, no, I'll join you.
I think Billy's going to move in. I think Billy's going to go to Joe Company. He'll stroke his head and make him feel good.
If you have a closet, just put an air mattress in there.
Yeah.
I can make it.
Well, in LA, an apartment basically is a closet.
It is, yeah. No different than New York or even Boston for the matter right now.
Now, Boston's expensive. New York. As a writer, I spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos when I'm supposed to be writing. And I've been into watching tiny apartment tours of New York City recently. And it's amazing that people have like 80 square foot apartments.
I just started the same thing. I mean, it's amazing how tiny these places are. They're going for like $1,500. And, you know,
it's 80 square feet. You don't have a kitchen and you don't have your own bathroom. It's one bathroom per floor. But there's a simplicity to it that you look and go, really, that might be all you need. I mean, you can't have possessions. You can't have like a book collection or a movie collection. But you have a bed, you have a TV, you could make it work.
Well, and if you're working all the time, you know, you just have a place to lay your head, I guess. Yeah. I wouldn't want to live like that. But.
No, there'd be just too much cum everywhere. It would be gross.
No, I couldn't live like that. I mean, I'd be like, going being so claustrophobic for me. I need to be able to spread out,
Yeah.
Spread out.
Yeah, you need more room for bodies.
Oh,
In a 80 square feet, what do you get in there? Maybe 3 hookers?
If
Yeah,
you're lucky.
but hey, if you go for the double rate of getting 6 at the time, then you stack them right at the top of each other. So
Yeah.
you do kind of like a mattress thing.
Okay.
All in the 80s. So, maybe if the room itself is like, let's say 20 feet tall, then maybe you can do something. Have someone like hang from a chandelier,
I'm picturing the house that Alex built.
Yeah.
But instead of Jack built there with Dave Dylan there, which was a good flick. That was a
Foundation
fun
of dead
movie.
hookers.
And the craziest thing you just said about stacking hookers is the fact that you thought there was going to be a chandelier in an 80 square foot apartment.
And
That's
you
the
could double
most
that size
unbelievable
if there were short people hookers.
A chandelier made out of dead hookers.
Yep.
Hey, I like that. I like that.
And right now, Frenchie's going, oh boy.
Oh
What did-
yeah.
What did we?
What did I get myself into?
They were paid appropriately. It's okay.
Yes.
So how's LA treating you guys?
Exactly.
I mean, great overall. I mean, it's been really great this second half of the year. The first half of the year was, with COVID running rampant still, productions were kind of far and few between, not a whole lot going on, but now everything's ramped up. I mean, I've been working nonstop probably since July. And I'm very grateful. And it's been really great.
Yeah.
And with the COVID situation getting better, more people getting vaccinated, productions are safer, so people want to start working more and filming more.
And there's no strike. We've been waiting for this impending strike that
I've been reading about
put a halt on a lot of things.
Everything was going to shut down.
Yeah.
Basically all the unions. So we're glad we got away with not having to do that because we start a movie on Thursday.
Yeah.
Which is fun. We can't say too much about it. I wrote it. Sarah's one of the stars. It's a departure. It's a space adventure movie. Which is going to be fun.
Space adventure.
Space adventure.
And I don't know if you guys have been following me on Instagram or not, but I've been doing some stunt training these last few weeks for the film. And it's been so much fun. Like, I've always loved doing my own light stuff. I say light stunts because if I say, oh, I do stunts, then they're gonna want me to like jump off a building or something.
Yeah.
But I say, I love doing my own light stunts. I've been doing them, forever. But this is different. This is a different caliber. So I've been doing a lot of falls, flip type things. Like, we're going hardcore, and I'm really excited.
Well, I loved your photo spread you did for the Chucky series.
Thank you. Yeah, I did that. I did that 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh my God, did she do this just for the show? Because I didn't realize that was from something else. Because, did you guys watch the pilot?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
We loved it.
It's great.
Awesome.
Chucky, for me, of all the major franchises, Friday the 13th is my favorite. And I think the original Chainsaw is the best horror movie of all time. But Chucky's the most consistent. And that for me, every one of them is good in different ways. There's none of the series is just bad. So to see it come back in a series with a budget like that is amazing. I've known Alex forever. I'm very happy for him to get to jump back into that character. And I loved it.
Yeah,
you loved it.
Me too. It's fun, and that's what it should be.
Yeah, it's everything it should be.
Exactly.
As long as Chucky's being a smart ass and killing people, I'm happy. That's the one franchise where they can, they go in every direction. From comedy to being a little more serious, and it just all works.
Yeah. I think it's been a long time coming, because I think if you looked at even the success, say like Ash versus the Evil Dead, which was a great cult series that transitioned so well to TV, I think by virtue, this is also a series that I think was waiting for this, to come down this menu. And I think TV is a really good avenue. And I love how Dawn's involved, and Kirshner is back, and they're at the helm, and because they've been so involved throughout the whole series. So I'm really interested in seeing how this is going to unfold.
Yeah, while their budgets have changed over time, it was always consistent for me. I always had fun with the Child's Play movies. 2 is my favorite still. I mean, I think 2 is
the
great.
best looking.
I love 2.
Yeah.
And
And
I even have this is a Trick or Treats, the guy, but I have the Trick or Treats Child's Play 2 that came out. And that's
very
great.
cool.
Sweet.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Very cool. We have an action figure coming out from Trick or Treat at some point.
For Pretty Boy.
For Pretty Boy. I would guess it's going to probably be around the time the movie comes out, which should be first quarter next year. We're hearing it should be out in time for Valentine's Day, which makes sense since that's when the movie takes place.
Yep.
So
That's wonderful. So you're getting some merchandise out with Pretty Boy. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have the
guys had
full
that
costume
vinyl
through Trick or Treat. They put a whole costume out last year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when the costume
Oh.
came out, there was no real Halloween
And no
because we
one
were in
was,
the middle
but
of COVID, and the movie hadn't came out yet. The movie
No.
didn't come out till November. So we're hoping for, they're going to rebrand it, I believe, for Pretty Boy.
yeah. So hopefully when it comes out, we'll get another good
Yeah.
push for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're excited.
Yeah.
We're excited about Pretty Boy.
Mhm.
Pretty Boy is it's our love letter to the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Blind was really good too. I know you guys got some vinyl releases, that's got to be being fans of the horror culture, and you see all these big, gigantic old horror movies getting their new Mondo releases and all these colored vinyl, the new artwork and stuff. It must be a great feeling to finally get some nice colored vinyl for yourself. You know what I mean? How's that? How you guys feel about that?
Oh, it's great. I mean, we're vinyl fans. Like we collect it, we listen to it. And so to have our movie on vinyl, the soundtrack is amazing.
The first one's out, which was the more the soundtrack. And then we have the score coming out, I think, next year.
Yeah, early next year.
When the movie comes out. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we buy vinyl, we like vinyl. So to have the record, this one was purple. I think the second one coming out is going to be pink.
Ooh, like your shirt.
Like my shirt, is absolutely amazing. It's just weird.
Are you at liberty to say who's releasing it?
I honestly don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't
can't
even know
remember.
who's putting out the second one. Otherwise I would say.
Yeah.
But
it's a different vinyl company.
Yeah, it's a different company than did the first one. I know it went to 2 different people, the score versus soundtrack. But we've been lucky. We had Blind came out on VHS, which is awesome. And it was cool that it came out not in because I like the old school clamshell VHS, but those are typically the ones that are coming out because they're the easier ones to put together. But Blind came out in the more box format, which is what you'd get when you bought it in the store. So that was very cool to see. We've never watched it in that format.
No.
For fear of the VCR eating it.
I don't know where. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I don't even know where our VCR is.
Yeah, it's packed away, I think, with the VHS tapes.
Which we have a shitload of still.
Do you both have music you use for inspiration while either writing or preparing for roles or, training for an acting gig?
Well, for me, I like to listen to Kill Switch Engage. That's one of my favorite bands. So whenever I have, let's say an emotional scene or something, I put on some of their music, and it helps me get into kind of the mood. So that, that's.
And I tend to do opposites. If I'm writing something that's very emotional, I'll put on death metal. And if I'm writing something that's more fun, I put on Air Supply. I like to listen to opposites.
Well,
the more fucked up, gory stuff always has Bee Gees or Air Supply or something weird because it just puts me in a weird mood.
Yeah. It's so funny.
But we always have music playing. I mean, music is
it's a big part of our lives.
It's the purest art form, and it's important. And I wish we could get some of that music in the movies we do, but the music ends up costing more than the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And You know, but we've been lucky.
Well,
we've got some good songs on our soundtrack.
Yeah.
And, you know, things that fit. Marcel's got some great artists in Germany that really nail the synth wave type stuff. And
Yeah.
you know, I would love to get to the point where I could have like certain songs in movies, but it's just so fucking expensive.
It is.
You know, 6 figures for a lot of that shit, and it's like, fuck, that's the movie.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, it's like you don't have the budgets like James Gunn's working with, as amazing as those songs are that we grew up with.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the last thing I wrote, it was so manic and bizarre. I was just listening to nothing but LMFAO. And I completed a script and just listening to that music. And it's so, but it's so funny where the inspiration draws from, of what you want to listen to by virtue of knowing what your assignment is. And it's like, okay, this is the genre that we're doing. So it's like, my mind's going to be going a different departure than usual. Let's just have fun and go and see where it goes. Because I mean, now, Joe, as a writer, where, like, I learned a little by virtue of the Truby method of writing. But there are so many different, you know, ways of getting into writing. You know, when you were writing from a young age, how did you learn your formatting of becoming the writing that you are today?
Trial and error. You know, starting in fiction was just kind of just a random thing that happened. And certainly I look at some of the early stuff and it's, you know, I can see what I was doing, but it wasn't quite there. As the screenplay, it was mainly just reading screenplays and then simply buying Final Draft. If you have Final Draft, you know, it walks you through the process. And then it's just learning the ins and out of, like, I'm not a director, I'm a writer. So you can't have, there's no direction. You can never have we see, angle on, any of that can never be in there. Or the studios are just going to throw it out.
But the shooting script, you can
the
have
shooting
that.
script that can go in there, but that's done by
that's
the director.
later.
So it's more about just, it's trial and error, you know, like some of the early stuff we did in Minnesota certainly wasn't great. You know, it was working with what we had and figuring things
But that's how this works. I mean, even as an actor, you
just
know,
learning from your mistakes to make sure that
exactly.
the next thing
And
you're
with
not
each
repeating
project
yourself.
you do, you learn more and more and more. You just do it.
Yeah, and I voice, you find the way you perform. You know, it's I mean, there's a lot of those baptism by fire moments that you get thrown into. So,
and I tend to write quick. I never spend more than a week on a first draft. So when I'm in the zone, I'm in the zone and I move. She makes fun of me because I'll get a gig and I'll tell them I can do it in 2 weeks. And I start, you know, with 3 days left. And that's just my process.
He's great. He works great under pressure.
Yeah. Like Pretty Boy, I wrote Pretty Boy in 2 days. And what I wrote in those 2 days is what we shot. Like there was really no other drafts. And that's rare. You know, usually you have to go through
That doesn't happen.
But
that's ridiculous. And it's all true. Like people sometimes don't believe how fast he can write, but that's what he does.
It's my OCD in the spectrum side I have that I can just focus on it and I have to move.
So you don't buckle under pressure, you thrive. Under pressure from the sound of it.
I usually need it. I'm not the type of guy that just sits around and goes, well, you know, I'll work on a spec script. It rarely happens. Usually it needs to be, well, we're looking for something, or what do you want to do?
Specific.
And then I can just bust it out.
I love it. You're almost like the Frank Frazetta of writers, because I think that's kind of how he did it as well. He would just spend one night just to create some of these masterpieces where you allow yourself X amount of time so you can hack away at whatever it is that you're writing. And then it seems like, wow, you know, it's like I was able to succeed, you know, this worked to my benefit, where it's almost by that pressure just really makes you perform your best.
Well, it's soldiering through, because we know, you know, anybody that writes knows you're gonna get 60% of the way through, and then you're gonna have that stumble where you're like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? Most of the time I know the end and I know the beginning. So for me, it's just not getting hung up. I don't worry about grammar. I don't worry about details on the first pass. I just keep going. And if I get to a spot and I don't know what I'm going to do, I just leave a mark there and I jump ahead. Because what I've found is you can spend days working on a section trying to get it right, only to find out that when you get another 10 pages in, what you just did doesn't work anymore. So you wasted all that time. So I just like to keep moving as fast as I can, get the first pass. Once you've got a first pass done, you know, the beginning, middle, and end, you feel accomplished. And then it's easy to go back and fill in the places
blanks.
Versus just sitting there struggling, you know, what am I going to do? And certainly we have that, you know, I think I've wrote during this year, I think I've wrote 7 or 8 features, and I'm very happy I've been able to do that. And I just don't get hung up, you know, you move quick, but with each one, it's the same. I think as artists, we all do the same thing where you go into it going, well, what am I going to do? I'm out of ideas. It's over. I'm never going to come up with something.
You do that every time.
And then a few days later, it's done.
Then it's like, boom. Yeah.
After I spend 3 or 4 days watching YouTube videos, like whatever.
It's a real process. Multiple like successful writers go through that process. And it's bizarre, but
it's distracting the mind until, for me, I'm big on it has to feel right. Even when we do our positivity stuff where we go up in the hills and we just talk about positivity and stuff, we bullshit until it feels right. And then we move into it. And I think for me, I just need the pressure.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have that, I'm probably not going to get something done. I'm going to sit around. I used to do it for Rock and Shock. There were a lot of times where I'd write a book right before Rock and Shock just because I'd go, well, I need something new to sell. So I'd write a book in a week.
Yeah.
Just because I'd be like, fuck, I need something new for the show. I mean, there was once where we showed up to the show and I had a new book that she didn't even know about. I didn't even bother telling her I wrote it.
Which one was that?
That was the Crop's Edge, the novella.
Oh, I love that one.
I love when you guys, I love when you did the reading from, I think it was the last one. Last time I saw you, it was I, Survivor.
Yeah. I did an hour and I think I read for about 3 minutes of it.
And then just bullshitting.
And the rest was just me bullshitting with people.
But people like that.
But,
like it gets boring if you're just reading something. They want to see your personality shine through.
I like to be different. I like Q&As to feel like just conversations with people. Because it's beautiful that we're all together talking and it's crazy. So that one was, I'm proud of that book. Writing that with Adam was awesome.
Yeah, how'd that come about?
I've known Adam for a long time. We've met multiple times over the years and he knew I was a fan and a friend. So when he did Victor Crowley, the book was a big part of the movie. It was a prop, but it was something more than that. And he, within the movie, he had Perry's character talk about Andrew Young, talk about a ghostwriter helped him write the book. And he used my name in it because he likes to throw his friends' names in for stuff. So when it came time where they decided they were going to do a book, it was natural for him just to come to me since he knew that was my background. So for me, that was just awesome. I mean, that was, I don't know if anybody here's read it. It's okay
I've actually, I just ordered it. I actually just became a Patreon member finally over Periscope. And I did the $20 tier, which is actually a great incentive. So I'm supposed to be doing this life-size replica of Victor Crowley from Hatchet 3. And
very cool.
I've been working on this budget, and it's just, you know, by virtue of the armature and how we want the thing to pose, or if we want it to be just, you know, a static regular. But I picked up all of the sequels, I, Survivor, and a few things. The movies came in so I can do the look, but I can't wait to read I, Survivor, because I remember seeing it not only at your table, but at Adams, I think, promoting it as
it's an interesting book to write a whole, you know, autobiography about a fake character in a movie. But it really, for me, I'm proud that it feels seamless because we split the book. Each of us have, I believe, 6 chapters we wrote separately because we came together and figured out the headings, what we were going to do, what each chapter was going to be, and then we wrote separately. And then we came together to do a pass from beginning to end. And we were surprised at how similar it felt, because in a lot of ways, Adam and I are similar, as I'm sure you guys are realizing. We both can talk. So
no,
we have a
I don't
tendency to weave in and out of whatever we're talking about. So finding the voice was fairly easy, especially since we had the movie. You know, I had seen obviously Hatchet 3, which is in the book, and I had seen quite a bit of Victor Crowley, you know, way before it was public. So I kind of knew what they were going for with it, and I'm proud of it. Like, people that read it can never figure out who wrote what chapter.
No, it's really, it is seamless. And
Getting
it's a great read, too.
to create in that world was just awesome. You know, it's kind of a kid in a candy store situation of, you know, I have a Victor Crowley tattoo somewhere here.
Yeah.
So to get to play in that world with him is awesome, because Adam's just great. He's probably the hardest working guy in the business, and also just one of the nicest. So
he's always busy. I mean, it seems like he's always. I just listened to his newest episode earlier today.
Oh yeah.
And but it seems like he's always busy. Because Joe, have you been on the movie Crypt?
I
yourself?
have. I've kind of have some infamy on there, because in the middle of my interview, I got Bell's palsy. Half my face went paralyzed. So when I left the interview, because a lot of what Adam and I talk about is I've had a lot of I've been through a lot of pain in my life. I've had a lot of weird shit happen to me when it comes to that. I've been in the hospital a lot. And he always cracks up at the things I remember. Like, you know, I had my sack ripped open by a goat when I was like 4 years old, and just little weird shit that's happened.
God.
So it made sense that on the podcast about my life, that in the middle of it, I came down with something crazy and had to go to the hospital, which of course I didn't know Bell's palsy. I just knew that half my face was paralyzed. And I couldn't close my eye. And
that was nuts.
Because that happened to my stepmother, and it was so weird because my father witnessed it, and he was just like, "What the?" You know. So I mean, I can't imagine what Adam and Joe are probably like. What the hell's happening?
Did she?
Yeah, Joe wasn't there for it. It was just Adam, and we really didn't notice till I got in the car.
Right?
And I got in the car to come pick you up. And
I was picking you up, I think.
No, I had the car because I drove to the hospital, and then
that's right.
You came and met me, but I didn't know if I was having a stroke, and I went, oh, this makes sense. I just talked about my whole life and everything, and now I'm gonna drop dead.
What are the odds?
What's a reflection do to me?
Oh my God.
No, Adam's been a good dude. I did his podcast, which is great. I did an episode of Horrified.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If you guys have to see it, if you haven't, it's
hysterical.
It was
and it's true.
The hardest one for him to edit, because I didn't know the time frame. So I talked for 21 straight minutes about pissing my pants in the car, and he had to edit it down to 5 minutes. So it was interesting, but you know, I love Adam. I'll always support Adam, you know, and
he's a great dude. He's very supportive of our community over in New England too.
Yeah,
you know,
100% coming from that area. Holliston's great.
Show's great.
Holliston's devastating. Great show.
Frozen's kind of his masterpiece. Like, Frozen's
so good.
amazing.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
He's trying to get Spiral, I think, on Blu-ray. His version, not the Chris Rock version. But I didn't even know about Spiral until fairly recently. I mean, he's been doing this for a while now. And
yeah, Spiral's great. He co-directed that, I think, with Joel David Moore.
Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, which is awesome. You know, I'll always support things Adam does. He's a cool guy. And I'm sure soon they'll announce their whole, you know, marathon they do, the Save a Yorkie thing, which
yeah, that's coming up in December. They were just talking about that. I think it's going to be the first weekend in December. Are you guys going to be partaking?
Possibly.
I'm not sure. Like, usually I do. It's usually story time where I'll come on and read a story, or they have Casey Hempel, who was an intern there, who's got a very childlike voice, and she's, you know, they'll have her read one of my stories just to see how she reacts to the vulgarity. But I'm not sure, you know, usually I'll drop in, at least once just to hang out regardless, just because of, they do the kind of the live commentaries. The one year we went just to hang out because it was Kane and Beekler doing Friday 7.
That was really cool.
And I just wanted to be there for that.
That was awesome.
But again, last year was different because of COVID.
Yeah.
And I am assuming this year will be kind of a controlled thing again.
That's true. Yeah.
Actually, was that the one where Beekler started laughing his ass off when Lynch went into the bathroom and had to use the bathroom? And apparently,
I think that was right. Yeah.
Because they just retouched base on that. I think it was the William Butler episode, actually. Good old Billy Butler. And it was hysterical. And he was like, I bet Beekler was laughing his ass off.
Yeah. Yeah. Billy's another guy that's just awesome.
Yeah, he's so great.
I'm a big fan of his work, as you can see.
Yeah. Yeah, he's super cool. I haven't read his book yet, but I've heard it's really, really good.
I'm reading it right now. It's really good, actually.
Yeah, he's very honest. And I know from his stories he's told me, he's lived a life. And I'm glad he stayed busy. We just watched Baby Oopsie.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
It was cheesy fun, and sometimes you need that.
I'm not a huge fan of more recent full moon stuff because, I like the classic stuff.
Yeah.
When they were trying to make good movies versus let's rush a movie out in 5 days. But I like Baby Oopsie. I think Butler's a good writer. He's a good director. And the woman they had playing the lead was awesome.
She's such a character.
Yeah.
It was
she
just
great. And in fact, it's so funny how you brought that up because Knetter, the one thing it reminds me is I remember it was a few years ago at a con and I came up to say hi to you. And I remember one of the first things you said was, "Oh, is Charlie here?" And it's like, because I know how much of a big Full Moon fan I am and usually talking about it. But it's like, no, Charlie's not here. Because it seems like, he would always be doing the conventions. But now that, Baby Oopsie, I think was freaking hysterical. Between the
it was
writing,
a lot of fun.
It looked like a return.
Criswell and Jeff Farley, to come together and do the puppet, just amazing stuff. I saw the second one and it's just really, now they're doing episodes like, I think they're doing a half dozen episodes between that and the Resonator, which is the other thing I think.
I haven't checked out the Resonator yet, but
it's really good.
Yeah, I like Billy. Billy's always been a good writer, a good director, and again, just another great guy. He's very supportive. Like he came to Pretty Boy twice. He got all dressed up and was a week early. He got all dressed up.
He's like, "Where are you guys? There's no one here." Like, it's next week. But then he came to our next week.
There is the LA scene is weird, but we've been lucky to have support because Adam came to the Pretty Boy screening and Adam doesn't go out to a lot of stuff. And Billy's always been great. It's just we're very happy that we've been able to get through this time. We've done well during COVID. We've stayed busy. You'll have the streaks where there's not much going on, and then you get too much shit.
But I'll still take it.
The mandate in California sounds like it's been extremely stricter than some of these other states. But you guys thankfully are doing good out there and just
it's just following the rules. I think we start November 4th that you have to be vaccinated to go in anywhere. Movie theaters, restaurants, the mall, you have to show proof of vaccination. And California got hit hard early on. And and right now I think it's the number one state. I think because either people are vaxxed or they got it, because a lot of people got it. I just got it. We're doing okay. And it makes sense because we're an entertainment industry city, and you can't afford to shut things down. It just destroys, especially in the indie world. If you get COVID and have to shut your production down, that may be your movie. You may be fucked.
Yeah.
You don't recover from that.
Yeah.
So a lot goes into prepping for the shoot. With Pretty Boy, we're lucky that we had limited cast, limited characters. And we were able to keep people mainly isolated. And the same with the space adventure we're going to do. Most days it's only a few cast members. And, you know, because the key is getting through safe.
Right.
And even more important than losing the movie would be losing somebody that worked on it.
Right.
Exactly.
You know? Sure.
Exactly.
Well, I know you guys said every day is Halloween for you guys, every day of the year.
Yeah.
But, you know, around that October 31st time of the year, you guys get any rituals or anything you like to do yearly around that time to kind of tie in the festive spirit of things?
Yeah, well, living in California and living close to South Pasadena, we visit all the Halloween locations. So we like to do that every year. And our good friend Tyler Gallant, he dresses as Michael Myers. So we do like photos by the hedge. We go to the Buccaneer, Halloween 3. We go to all the locations, the Halloween house.
We have certain movies we make sure we watch.
And
Obviously,
movies,
we
for
watch
sure.
Halloween 1 through 3.
Yeah.
That's a must.
That's a must.
You got any weird ones? Like Ernest Scared Stupid, I hear a lot around.
Yeah.
I don't think we do that one really.
But you know what we watched last year that everybody hated that we liked was Hubie Halloween.
Yes.
We had a lot of fun with that.
That's from they shot that over here. Yeah.
Yeah, that felt like
that's right.
an Ernest, you know,
Mhm.
type movie. And then we just pick random things. Like we just watched Midnight Mass, which was fantastic.
Oh my gosh. So good.
You know, you have to like the slow burn because it's 7 hours of talking, but I loved every minute of it.
It's done so well.
And actually this month we haven't watched quite too
Well,
much
we haven't had
because
time.
you're rehearsing for 2 things.
Oh my God, no time for anything.
We're in prep on something and but we did find time for Chucky.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll find time. I mean, even though we're shooting the last 2 weeks of October, we have one day off. And that one day off, we're going to go to South Pasadena and do our thing because we have to.
Yeah.
And then we do have Halloween off, but that's my only day off. So I'm going to be packing and I ain't got time for anything. Maybe we'll watch a movie at least.
Yeah, no, she goes from we start this one shoot and then on the days off, she starts the other shoot and then goes back to finish the shoot we're on. And then flies right to Puerto Rico to continue.
we end in Vegas on the space adventure movie
on the 5th.
On the 5th, and then from Vegas that night, I'm flying up
The next
to
day,
Puerto Rico.
the 6th.
Well, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. The next day.
You're working through the holidays. I mean, you're really busy now.
That's a good thing, Bill.
No,
I know.
It's a wonderful thing, especially with work resuming.
It's feast or famine. out here.
Exactly.
Really?
You know, you'll go months without anything. And then like the first half of the year, you didn't have I don't think
Not
you had
really
a gig.
much.
And then
Because-
since then you've had like 5 or 6 features.
Mhm.
So it's been, you know,
It's been
good.
great.
And a lot of that is being choosy. You know, for
Yeah.
each project she takes, she turns down 20 because she's really choosy about what she jumps on now.
Well, you have to be. You can't just say yes to everything.
Yeah.
You know.
And trust me, I'm well aware she doesn't say yes to everything.
And Joe, you're probably also looking at some of these scripts that, before jumping onto this project, because you just want to make sure these scripts are of a certain value. Is this worth our time? And really the big questions you have to ask yourself, not just as an actor, but, just however your representation is, you just want by virtue want to ask those questions to make sure that, this is the right venture we want to go on.
Sure. It's very important to make a decision that it's going to be a career, not a hobby. And that means sometimes turning things down that are good paydays. You turn down sometimes working with cool people, but it just depends on, is the project right? And I always go through everything she's going to do to kind of take a look at it. And then, and then she decides from there. And same with me, anytime somebody wants to pitch me to write something, I have the same philosophy.
Oh,
What is it? Can I, do I think I can do it well?
Mhm.
Is it something I haven't done yet? Which is why the space adventure thing was so cool. Because I grew up watching all that stuff, Star Crash and
I know.
Battle Beyond the Stars. And so it's just fun to do something like that.
Well, I'm excited to play a badass.
Yeah.
And I have a huge fight scene at the end of the movie. And I'm more excited for that than anything because I know it's gonna look amazing. Because Michael Sue's shooting it. He was a DP for multiple movies of mine. I mean, this is like our 8th time working together. He shot Pretty Boy, Death Count, I mean, shitload of movies.
Just be careful how much more information you give out.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to talk too much about it.
But that's all I'm going to say. But I'm really excited.
Well, when it's ready to rock, definitely come back on the show and we can talk about it.
Oh, yeah, we will. We will, definitely.
And we'll do the same when Pretty Boy comes out. You know,
Yes.
that's
we got to get Marcel. We've been talking to Marcel. We're going to get him on the show here to promote too.
we'll do probably a group thing.
Cool.
He gets nervous with the podcast sometimes, being that English is not his first language, but Marcel's just a great dude. He's got a good eye. You know, and we love working with him. We have half a dozen projects with him in the pipeline. So, you know, that's and of course Pretty Boy is going to continue. We've got 2 more. I've got 2 more screenplays written to continue the series. So we're excited. We're excited to see, you know, how the audience responds.
Yeah.
So far it's been great. They laughed at the right places. They groaned in the right places. And then you know, everything hit where it should be. You know, I'm happy with it.
Me too. And we can't wait to talk more about
And
it.
I'm usually not happy with anything.
This is true.
That's the best treat of all. You didn't even have to dress up and go house to house.
Yep. That's the beauty of being a writer, is I get to just sit home in my pink shirt and like I don't even have bottoms on. You know, it's amazing.
Walking around with cereal. Okay, I'm gonna get to writing in a little bit.
Yeah, my bowl of cereal, my massive box of cereal, basically.
Family size.
Yeah. You eat it with a wooden spoon and it's a meal. It's a meal.
Yeah, I like it. Well, we thank you very much for being part of our Horrorween special. You want to tell the folks where they can check out your stuff and get the films and what's coming up and what to be looking out for? I mean, you got a lot of stuff.
You can check out my Instagram at Sarah French Online. I'm mostly on there, and also Facebook as well. We have Pretty Boy coming out early next year, and so look forward to that. And you can also see a bunch of my films on Amazon Prime right now. Just look up my name, Sarah French. And yeah, I'm excited.
You know, look her up, not me. I hate social media, and I don't do much on there because it's just I don't like it. It's not what it should be.
But he is on Instagram.
Yeah, but I don't even give it away. I don't give a fuck. Go visit her page.
Much more entertaining.
She's got a lot of stuff. The specials on Peacock right now. It's on.
That's right.
Prime.
Yes.
Barry, her killer teddy bear romantic comedy movie is out on Prime.
And Blind is out on Prime as well.
Blind's out. Booze, Broads, and Blackjack, her casino mobster movie, is out there as well.
Yes.
And what do you got coming out? Death Count.
Yeah, Death Count's coming.
Bloodthirst.
Bloodthirst, Bridge of the Doomed. Handful of stuff and more to come.
Yeah, this is the moment where we're here to promote, and we forget everything we've done.
That's how it works. But thank you guys so much for having us.
You have a happy
Great seeing you guys.
Halloween over there.
Yes, happy Halloween to you
Yeah.
guys.
It's good to see you again, John D. Enjoy your Halloween, guys.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Hawk, don't kill any more hookers.
I'll try not to.
He makes no promises.
Hawk, I'll see you in a few weeks.
Yes, Sarah will keep me out of trouble. Okay.
Yeah, I somehow don't think
Or I'll
that's
get
going
you
to happen.
in trouble. One of the two.
Hey, either way, I could go either way. Whatever you want to do, I'm down for it.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Puerto Rico hookers.
Bye-bye.
Cool beans, gentlemen. That was Sarah French and Joe Knetter on a Horrorween special extravaganza.
It's Buddy Buttafuoco again, interrupting your viewing pleasure to bring in some special guests that will take you by the hand and walk you down the supernatural path of the unexplainable. So sit down and grab a cup of something hot and enjoy.
Have you ever encountered a ghost in your days?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
And I think there is such a thing. And up to a few years ago, I would have said no, but as I've gotten older, like I say, I've gotten a little bit more open-minded. I generally discredit anything that happens while I'm on my own, because I assume that's just my imagination, or that I'm, having an acid flashback or one thing or another. I'll explain it, on my mind will find a way of explaining it. So generally it has to be something that's been definitively witnessed by 2 or 3 different people where we could all agree it actually happened. And yeah, I did run into something like that a few years ago. Yeah, it was very, very, very trivial, but at the same time, we couldn't explain it, which kind of pushed it over the edge. And I guess you want me to say more, right?
Sure, if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, the ghost story, which I wasn't really going to dish up, but might as well. That started about 15 years ago. And what happened was we were in a very old hotel in Carcassonne in the south of France. And rather like The Shining, it was the last day of the season. It was closing day at the hotel, and we were the only guests there. It was a real sort of 19th century Art Deco, very, very beautiful, crumbling establishment. There were only 3 of us in the hotel on that night. Myself, my friend Craig, who was down the hall, and my then girlfriend Maggie, who was in the room with me. And just as we were getting into bed and I put out the bedside light, I heard the pattering of tiny feet in the hallway outside the door of the room. The footfalls came pattering down the hall, and just as they went past the outside of the door, they did a little skip. And I clearly heard a little girl's voice giggle, and then the footsteps ran away down the hall. And I said to Maggie, who was in bed with me, do you hear that? A little girl just ran past the door. She didn't hear a thing. She said, no, I didn't hear anything. You're on drugs, go to sleep. Just shut me down. Then the next day at breakfast, we're sitting down there, and my buddy Craig, who was staying down the hall, comes down to eat, and he gives us a weird look. Then he says to Maggie, were you on drugs last night? I heard you running around and giggling outside my door. Because it was a little girl's voice, he'd thought it was her. She'd been in the room with me, but hadn't heard it at all. At that point, Maggie got very freaked out and paranoid because she assumed that me and Craig must have gotten together and cooked it all up as a joke to scare her. So she made us promise not to talk about it again. We kind of forgot it happened, and I didn't really think of it again for about 10 years. And then about a decade later, I had a Californian friend flying into the south of France whose plane was coming in late. And they wanted to know a good place to stay in Carcassonne, where the airport is. So I said, okay, why don't you book into the hotel terminus and try and get a room on the 3rd floor. Then afterwards, we talked on the phone, and I said, okay, how was the room? And she'd had a decent flight. And I said, well, what was the hotel like? And she said, yeah, it's real nice, but there's a dead little girl on the 3rd floor. which came about 10 years afterwards without any cues from me. Yeah, put the fear in me.
Yeah. That's funny. That reminds me of a story my uncle told me of. He said when he was a teenager, he used to have these dreams of this witch that was in the corner of his room laughing at him. And he was like haunted by these reoccurring nightmares. He said that later in life, he had a son, and he said he woke up one night to his son crying, and he went into the son's room to go see what was bothering him. And the son said, there was a witch in the corner of my room laughing at me. And he said that when his son said that, he died. He was like, you know what I mean? And it's just such a creepy image, you know what I mean, of that. And yeah. Ray, I know you're a man of paranormal. What do you equate to all the reoccurring things like this?
Reoccurring like that can be a haunting if, I would say, active. They are there if you can interact with them. Otherwise, it is probably an energy imprint. That person, a part of that person is the energy was left there, and that energy manifests as the person.
The fact that the kid, he's seen it and then his kid's seen it, is that like a latch on type thing? Or what would you equate that to? Like a curse? Or what do you think that could be?
Well, if you're talking about the witch, then it could be a curse on the place that they lived. And they were picking up on it by living there, both of them separately having the similar or same experiences, one in a dream and one as they're going to sleep.
Yeah.
So that's more like that's more of a curse, I'd say, than anything else.
And it could have just been a lady. Lady's got a bad name. They could have just said it was a witch because it was a female, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it had the Wizard of Oz hat on and the broomstick, you know what I mean?
Well, I know a lot of people say witch automatically. I have a friend who's Wiccan. I've known for about 30 years. And with Halloween coming up, or they call it Samhain, they celebrate quite a bit, but everybody says, oh, you're a witch. Well, she's not a witch. She has a Wiccan belief system. She happens to be the head of a coven, but that's simply their name for the group of people that practice the ceremonies. It's an earth medicine, basically, an earth belief.
Yeah. Yeah, it was some creepy stuff. Yeah, I'm glad that with the group thing, like Richard was saying, the group thing, when you're with somebody else and you see it, it definitely makes it more real. I remember, I think I talked about it on the Ghostly Show before, where, you know, we were coming back from a film shoot, and we were driving down the street late at night, and we drove by this school, and I had my window down, and I remember looking up, and I seen something. And what I seen a guy in like a top hat and a long black trench coat, like the old fashioned timey clothes. And he looked like he was like 15 feet tall, and he was standing in the road waving like off into the road at the cars coming by. And I remember I turned to the kid with me and I go, did you see that? And he said, yeah. And before I told him what it was, I go, what was it? And what he explained to me was the same exact thing that I seen, except he wasn't 15 feet, he was floating. But he was at the same height. He didn't have long legs, you know what I mean? So like very weird occurrences. Now, Alexandra, I know you've never really had any paranormal occurrences happen to you, so you're almost what they say a naysayer a little bit, they say.
Well, the thing with me is I would never call myself a naysayer. I mean, I do believe that if I haven't witnessed or experienced it, does not mean that it doesn't exist. I mean, I have never been on the surface of Mars, but I do know that Mars does exist. So I do have that way of looking at it. Yeah, I mean, for example, I know that I work at a CVS back home. And I've been told by numerous of my colleagues that there's a poltergeist, there's a ghost of some kind that actually lives in the basement. Now, I've worked at that same store for 24 years, and I have gone in the basement multiple of times. And I personally have not experienced any of the paranormal experiences that some of my other colleagues have experienced. It could simply be that I'm not attuned to it, or just it just doesn't happen when I'm down there. But I do believe that it's possible, even though I haven't experienced it.
You're a prime candidate for it, because I do feel that like the people that see it are like, if you're going down there looking and going, oh, I really hope I see something. I really hope I see something this time. I don't think it'll catch you. You'll feel your energy, and I don't think it'll ever show itself to you. So it's one of those, you see it when you're thinking about something else. You know what I mean? Not trying to focus on seeing something. I think so. It's possible. And with it being a work establishment, you know, in the basement, a lot of things could have happened there. Somebody could have, had a heart attack, maybe moving some produce, or, maybe done something more intentionally to themselves down there. You know what I mean? All types of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, well, I've been there 24 years. I know that I think it was like 30 years that it was a CVS. Before that, it was like a town grocery store. Before that, I don't know. I'd have to go into the history books on that one. I mean, anything is possible. I mean, for me personally, when I go in the basement, I'm very goal orientated. I go in, I get what I need, and I go out. I don't, hang out or anything like that. So
I've never heard that term used for getting supplies out of the closet, goal oriented. I like it though. That's a very positive approach.
Well, put it this way. I mean, when I go down to get supplies and to get back up. I mean, I never snuck down there to, smoke up a doobie or just, kill time. Maybe I should. Maybe I'd have a better work experience if I snuck some time down there.
Probably. You'd have a better interaction with that spirit down there, probably. You could see the face in the smoke when you blow it out, like Hollow Man.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, one question. Do they have extractor fans in the basement?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any fans in the basement. It's pretty stuffy. We don't really have much of a circulation down there.
Oh, we're just fishing because, I've read a lot about extractor fans being related to reported apparitions in workplaces. What they call sick building syndrome. Apparently, the speed at which an extractor fan turns can produce infrasound or ultrasound, which can cause cold spots, the sensation of one's skin crawling, and even cause blurring in the corner of one's eyes, which can resemble figures if one's going past or going up and down a staircase. And there have been a few times where folk have changed the speed of have changed the extractor fan, and the apparitions have stopped, or the vibe has changed, but not in this case.
Oh no, there's definitely no fans down there. That would require CVS to put more money into the store than they probably want to. But yeah, I would not say the fans have anything to do with it. Definitely not down there. Because, there's no fans in the basement.
No fans upstairs either, it sounds like.
Not really.
Vibrations are big. I hear that a lot. Like with the base, there's a lot of, people say that you see a lot of entities and things in the basement because, a lot of the energy from the house kind of usually circulates to an energy box in the basement, and the concrete kind of grounds everything out. So that's why you see a lot of stuff kind of in the basement, supposedly. You'll see one soon, Alex. Don't worry. It's waiting for you.
Oh, I'm sure hanging out with you and Ray, sooner or later, I will experience a ghost. But at this point, being 40 years old, I have not experienced any of those situations at this point.
You probably already have. You just naysay it and block it out of your mind.
Well, all I have to say is I can't think of anything that I couldn't understand or couldn't. Maybe you're right. Maybe I have experience and I just rationalize what happened.
I feel like a lot of people would try and do that, you know what I mean? Because from the get-go, I mean, the idea, if you were to take it just on paper as the get-go of just people that have passed still being here, people don't want to believe that. I mean, the whole death thing, I think people are so afraid of in general that, like, anything related to the topic of, they don't want to talk about it, you know what I mean? It's just, let's not go there type deal, you know? But we say, let's go there, mostly ghostly. Richard, what do you think happens after you die?
I got no idea.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep an open mind. I hope it's not too awful.
I agree with that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different possibilities. I mean, the naysayers think that consciousness withers and dies in the brainstem, and that there is no afterlife, and that this way around, yeah, I don't know when it actually ends. Spontaneous firings of neurons go on in corpses for sometimes days after they've stopped breathing. On that level, I'd like to be vaporized or cremated as fast as possible, just to hedge my bets in case there is no afterlife. And in the eventuality of an afterlife, I sure hope it's not a traditional Catholic Christian one, because I really wouldn't want to end up sharing eternity with St. Dominic or the Crusaders or some of the monstrous assholes of the past who have made it in there. So if I could come back and, you know, be reincarnated as a tree or something, I'd settle for that. Otherwise, if I could end up haunting one of my favorite locations, that would be fun too.
That'd be cool. I know Ray's a big believer in the reincarnation deal, which is cool. Yeah, death's weird. It's like, it's either all darkness or like a subconscious thing. You know, to go back to the old way of thinking of the heaven and hell. Yeah, you know, hell's just like torturous and horrifying, and heaven was always like pitched as, you know, not so much fun, but more of like a job. You know what I mean? Of like a worshiping job. You know what I mean? But,
yeah, and I've got ideological issues with that, so yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't turn out to be true.
Yeah, it'll be tricky. It'll be very interesting. It's the great, you know, the biggest question of all is like, what happens when you die? So yeah, I think that's why people have trouble wrapping. They can't even wrap their head around like the event, let alone what happens after, you know?
Yeah, and there's growing evidence to suggest that we might be living in a simulation. There's a lot of folk out there who are buying into simulation theory these days, mostly because of the way that space-time seems to be written in binary code, which implies that the whole thing might turn out to be a super complex sandbox video game. And
imagine that. Imagine if that's what it turned out to be.
It's just within the realms of, I guess, quantum possibility at the moment.
Yeah. It's crazy. I would love to know who the people watching that sandbox is. You know, who designs and operates something like that. Crazy.
Yeah, and it provokes a bunch of questions. Are we participating in this willingly, or are we here against our wills? You know, we get to find out.
Yeah. It's weird that it brings, you know, the only people you could think of, or the entities you could think of being above us that would want to do something would be some type of alien life type deal. You know what I mean? Even the most richest people in the world, I don't even think would. I mean, they, you know, have, I don't know, it's weird. The simulation thing's so weird. I mean, the fact that evidence comes out every day that makes it look more realistic is insane. You know what I mean? Very interestingly insane.
It's certainly creepy, and yeah, enough smart people are buying into the idea, like Elon Musk and folks, that we have to accept that it's not just completely crazy, that there's some kind of argument for it. But as to how such a thing could ever be designed, whether that's extraterrestrials or some evolved future human being, or some kind of Lovecraftian ultra-dimensional force that exists beyond the limits of our current perception, it's difficult to know.
Yeah. You think we'll ever destroy this Earth and end up on another one in the world?
We may end up in another world. I don't think we're going to destroy this Earth. I've got a feeling there's not in our lifetimes. It's pretty resilient. We might make a few dents in it, but yeah, I don't think we've quite got that capacity yet.
I know they talk about like drastic, weather change, too hot, too cold, getting us possibly.
Yeah, that might happen, and there might be some mass extinction event for a bunch of humans. I think the planet's going to keep rocking. There's probably another few million years of history to come.
Without human, post-humanity? Are we going to have some humans scattered in there?
Yeah, I reckon humans will make it too, because they're also pretty resilient.
Yeah.
Even in an absolute worst case scenario, I suspect there'll be some people under a rock somewhere who will make it through. So I get the impression we'll stagger on. I mean, this sort of things apparently happened before.
Yeah.
So I mean, there've been mass extinction events during human time. I mean, there's pretty good evidence for a shift of the magnetic fields that happened in like Cro-Magnon time. Our primitive ancestors seem to have made it through, despite it being like super cataclysmic and massive climate shifts and everything else. They still seem to have endured and left behind cave art and come out the other end. So I suspect no matter what zaps us, a few folk are going to survive somewhere, be it in the Hindu Kush or Australia or somewhere. But I think it would take an awful lot to completely cauterize the planet.
You'd get all the people that are living the glamorous life, maybe in the cities and stuff. I know you look like you stay pretty. Your surroundings look very peaceful, we'll say. You know what I mean? Whenever I see pictures of stuff, it looks like you don't get a lot of city around you. You kind of got your own little thing going, which is nice. That's kind of the way to do it. I think people like that will have a better chance of survival, you know what I mean, than people that would be like in a city, or even us real close to the coast, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know what they put out of the bag. I mean, almost anything could happen at any moment. So, it's difficult to know which way we'll go. I mean, we lost all of the Wi-Fi here for 2 days of last week, which took down the ATMs and credit card facilities, and there was no news coming in or out. And most of the cells were down too. And for the first 24 hours, there was a sense of, could this be the end of the world? Is the outside world still out there? And there was a kind of sense of disappointment as we reconnected. And you just never know. But certainly, thanks to the whole COVID pandemic and stuff, we've gone a bit more survivalistic in the last 2 years, and made strong moves to safeguard the local water sources and the actual watershed. Managed to close down a mountaintop mining operation that was threatening the water sources, because we all kind of know that in the eventuality of really bad things happening, we need to be able to keep drinking safely and to have like a minimum yield on the vegetable patch. And there was a sort of vague move towards stockpiling arms, but this is Europe, so one Winchester and an old hunting rifle was as much as anyone could come up with. A general movement towards self-sufficiency, water-driven electricity, and I guess everyone's watching world events carefully.
Yeah, we're big. They're big on right now. They're big on, farming's kind of an issue. They say there's a food shortage coming. We had issues with the truck drivers. They didn't want to get the vaccine type deal, so like the trucks were going to stop for a while. There's a lot of weird things that could play into something like that. You know what I mean? But the COVID thing kind of get everybody prepped, kind of preparing them for future things. Over here in Texas. I think right before COVID happened, we had an issue where like they got a bunch of snow, and then they never got snow, so they lost electricity. I guess people froze to death because they had no heat.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, they just weren't ready for it, and I think they prep more, because even if like YouTube, like I remember when that happened, there was people going around and there was like a little way to make heat, which was like it was like a Yankee candle and like a copper, like a clay pot, and you put the pot over the candle, it'll heat up the pot, and the pot will stay warm throughout the night or whatever. So like it's little life hacks that could be very valuable in a situation like the Texas situation that could have saved people's lives, you know what I mean? But you couldn't get that info to them. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, possibly the way we're most vulnerable is for what happens if the machine stops or when the Wi-Fi goes down, because that has a series of knock-on effects that kind of takes down civilization very fast. And it's one area where we're very vulnerable and where you don't need even a tsunami or a cyclone or a nuclear weapon. That can just happen for a bunch of reasons. A big enough solar storm will do it.
Yeah.
We're getting off the Halloween topic and into
it's very scary, but I love Halloween. So why are pumpkins orange? So I know you said you had a costume story.
Yeah, I did. It's a biggie though.
I love biggie stories.
Yeah, it was the one I thought I'd share for Halloween this year, having given it due thought. I guess, launch into it. But yeah, this happened a bunch of years ago, and back in the days of my youth when I was still doing a lot of rock festivals and basically living rough in the United Kingdom. And basically I got into a fight with a bunch of hippies at the Glastonbury Festival in the teepee field. Must have been about 20 years ago. I got into a fight with the peace police, who are a bunch of self-appointed sort of hippie vigilantes keeping peace in the green fields, and it was largely a racial thing. They detected I was foreign, and they thought that the standing stones in the land was theirs, and I figured they had blonde hair and blue eyes, so they were descended from Danish and Viking invasions and weren't real Celts, something along those lines. But in the midst of this fracas, I got rescued by a big Scots lad, a guy named Mark Oxbrow, who was down from Edinburgh and attending the festival as part of some fringe theatre thing. And he was fully dressed as Punch, the fool, so very familiar from The Wicker Man, and waded into the fight, and because he saw that I was on my own and being picked on by a bunch of other guys. So waded in on my side, and I was super grateful to him. And Mark then proceeded to tell me he was organizing a yearly pagan festival in Scotland. Said that if they don't want you down here in Glastonbury, come up to Scotland and help me light fires. And what had happened is he'd seen The Wicker Man on television and had the same thought as many other people, which is what a shame that this isn't real. Can we actually make this happen? He'd created his own ritual, and he'd gotten funding from the lottery fund to do a Beltane fire Mayday effigy burning thing on top of Carlton Hill in Scotland. So in Edinburgh, on the back of Mark's initiative, he managed to found something called the Beltane Fire Society, who still exists to this day. The deal is they light a huge big bonfire on top of Carlton Hill on Beltane night. And it's usually about 300 to 400 performers. And then at dawn on May Day, generally we used to blow up a pyrotechnic effigy. And this got started way back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I was very fortunate to be Mark's friend and to be in on the early days of it. And rapidly within 2-3 years, it grew. So on average now it's attracting an audience of around 10,000 people. And really between 8 to 10,000, possibly more. It's become a sort of a tourist attraction in Edinburgh. gets a certain amount of news coverage. People assume it's an ancient rite or an ancient tradition, but actually it's only about 20 years old and was established by my crazy buddy Mark, who literally got the idea from watching The Wicker Man. And yeah, for a bunch of years, I was in charge of the what we called the torchbearers, which was the right in the early days of the festival. We were using ordinary stewards who had glow in the dark, like day glow bibs on to keep the crowd back. But I had the idea of replacing the stewards with very tall, frightening looking Scots lads, completely covered in black paint, black clothes, and painting runic lettering on their faces in silver, and then giving them burning torches, which made them very fierce. And these guys would keep the crowd back and cut the crowd so that the performers and dancers could come through. And I was generally the right-hand torchbearer for about the first 5 years or so of the Beltane Fire Society's inception. And after about 8 years of doing this, it was such a hit with the authorities in Edinburgh that they said, why don't you guys do a Halloween too? I'm seeing is the Beltane's going so well, you should do a Samhain, do both ends of the summer. So Mark sat down and invented an ideal Halloween ritual for Edinburgh and started doing Samhains. How this went is that on the other side of the year, in the beginning of summer, on Beltane night and coming into May Day morning, what the things you did is we like crowned a May Queen and a May King. There was the whole summer court, and the Green Man was present. So for the Samhain, the Halloween experience at the other end of the year, the decision was to bring back the May Queen and the May King and the characters from the Beltane thing, but show them as being kind of really burned out, a little bit fagged and fashed after the long summer, kind of finished. They would then process through Edinburgh up to the Samhain festival, which still happens today and will happen at the end of this month. Happens outside the main cathedral in Edinburgh, and the summer court process through the town and come to the main cathedral. And once they're all there, then the winter court arrives, who replaces them. And the winter court always come with tremendous fury and energy, come shrieking and screaming into the square, and they generally also painted black, carrying torches, and extremely fierce. The winter court then rages in and slays the summer court. The king of summer has to fight the king of winter. There's generally a full-on battle. The king of winter slays the king of summer, tears him apart. The winter court is crowned, which happens every Halloween. So on the very first one of these, outside the cathedral, it was the first time that the Beltane boys had been asked to do a Halloween. So Mark, who was in charge in those days, got pretty drunk. Everyone was partying pretty hard before it happened. Mark was the king of winter, and they came raging in, and as a result of them being a little soused, they put a lot of energy into the fight. It was the king of summer and the king of winter had a really super sword fight. It was very strong. King of summer slain. Then at that point, the Queen of Winter arrives. And I remember about 1,500 people were watching. Everyone fell silent. The crowd parted as the Queen of Winter arrived, and she was a lady entirely covered in blue paint, who was underneath a black cloak, and she came through just as a black cloak, completely wrapped up through the middle of the crowd and up to the plinth just after the King of Summer had been slain, and came up on stage. And as she got on stage, she unveiled herself, first of just one blue hand coming out of the cloth, and then fully unveiled herself. And we had this naked blue girl standing over the body of the King of Summer. And at that point, snow started to fall. Snowflakes started to condense out of the air over the crowd. The whole crowd, about 1,500 people, went silent, and it started to fucking snow, which we had not planned on. And it was a point further than we thought it was going to go. But I tell that story because it was pure synchronicity, but at the same time it was a moment where we all felt that somehow we were doing the right thing. That whatever it was saying yes, okay. Again, not so much a ghost story as a sort of pagan miracle story.
One of those special moments, you know. Mother Nature liked that show so much she wanted to put her stamp of approval at the end, you know what I mean?
Dumb broad. She tricked me. Guys are gonna laugh for months. She should have stayed in the kitchen where she belongs. A woman shouldn't even be allowed in these games. Not a game, it's life.
You had an encounter with of the ghostly kind?
Well, there was some sort of spiritual thing, some sort of entity thing that was in my girlfriend's house with her mother and her other brothers and sisters, and they were the parents were part of this sort of occult belief group, sort of, you know, because this is like mid-60s, so it's sort of like pre-New Age. And one of the kids had brought home a Ouija board from somebody else, and they were playing around with it. And, you know, like most people, it's like, yeah, it's Parker Brothers' toy. It's, you know, if you don't believe in it, what's the big deal? Well, apparently playing around with it created some sort of entity that was literally following my girlfriend around, who was very susceptible to all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I was this, you know, 16-year-old rock and roller, you know, stoner, you know, it's like, yeah, right kind of guy. And one night when they had their meeting, we decided that we were going to, you know, go to the meeting. And part of the ritual that night was to take the Ouija board and to burn it in the fireplace. So they lit up this roaring fire with the logs and stuff, and they put the Ouija board in there, and then everybody just sat there and waited. And it seemed, again, I was 16, trying to remember all this, but it seemed like forever before that thing, you know, started to burn. And then it burned in like areas, like, you know, like one spot and another spot, and each was like a perfect circle with like an orange flame, a red flame, a blue flame, a purple flame. And they like made this like shrieking sound, like I don't remember the old Piccolo Pete, you know, fireworks, but these high-pitched wails. And I mean, it was like you were frozen. I just watching this thing do this, you know, like mini fireworks show. And then the thing just like, you know, completely was engulfed in flames and disappeared. I don't know if anybody talked for a minute, you know, after seeing that. It was just so weird. Then I go home that night feeling like I'm being followed. And I kept thinking, this is my imagination. I'm just like, you know, I just taking this way too seriously. And then sure as shit, in the middle of the night, I woke up, you know, like 3 in the morning or something, and the room was freezing cold. There was something in the corner that looked like the shape of a man, like a head, shoulders, and then straight down. It was kind of like that, you know, video digital noise kind of thing that you see. And I was terrified and literally called my girlfriend, and she, you know, she said, oh, you better talk to my mom. And the mother gets on the phone, and immediately she goes, there's something there, isn't there? And I went, yeah, what do I do? Close your eyes. I'm not going to close my eyes. Close your eyes. You know, and she talked me through this whole ritual of keeping my eyes closed, filling the room full of white light. And literally I could feel things warm up as, you know, as this thing, I guess, was going away. And when I finally opened my eyes, it was gone.
Pleasant dreams.
child, about 7 years old. He lives in a house, second floor of the house. Now, this house is about, I'd say 100 feet away from the edge of town. When you go down the end of the block and cross over, there's some woods, there's some railroad tracks and a switching station. Now, even though the parents would say never go out and play in the tracks, the child would love, this little boy would love to go out and play in the tracks, hop trains, have a good time. What started happening after a point from playing on those tracks, is when he'd go to bed at night, he'd look out his window and he'd start seeing faces. Now he's on the second floor, and these were faces of children, faces of some adults. He'd eventually sleep with the blinds closed and wouldn't even look out a window. But at 10 years old, his parents moved. And 40 years later, as an adult, he moved back to his hometown. And he got a place that's probably about, maybe 200 yards from where the tracks used to be. I say used to be because this child, now a man, was curious, went exploring about town to see what was changed. All the railroad tracks are gone. There's just a path through the woods. The bridge that used to go over the river, the train would use, that's gone. So there's no trace of the tracks anymore. He was a little bit surprised when one time when he was out back, he heard the train whistle. He said, no, it can't be. There's not even tracks. No more trains. He did a little bit exploring, talking to neighbors, going on the web, looking things up. Found two things, those tracks he used to play on. There were children that died there, playing on those very same tracks, and even some adults. And other people had heard the train, even though it's been gone for 40 years. You can occasionally hear that train whistle even now. The last time it came through, or at least anybody heard it, including this man now, was last summer, or I'd say about midsummer 2021. And when I say imagine, you really don't have to imagine. When I say last time he heard it, well, that little boy who's a man now, that grew up in this town, moved back and still hears that train on occasion, that's me. I can still hear it come through on the tracks that aren't there. This town's haunted. It's got a ghost train.
Well, Ray, that was a great story, man.
Heck yeah.
I got to do a little bit more research. I know that Mount Hope Cemetery in town, that's supposedly haunted. A lot of people have seen a figure go dancing through there when no one is in there. And when they go to investigate during the day, all they do is see one of the statues that looks like the person they saw dancing. And the police station, which was, they took over an old factory and refurbished it, turned it into a police station. The cells are supposed to be haunted there. Some of the police have even admitted seeing things there. And we have a house on the witch's, next town over, there's the witch's house. And not far from where I used to live, there was a haunted house, which they built condos over, and stories coming out of there. The condos are haunted now. So it is a haunted town.
For sure. And the haunt don't leave. You knock down the building, you put up another building, that building's haunted too. That's how it works.
But the others I haven't seen. The train, I can remember playing on the tracks. And yeah, once in a while, you can still hear that train whistle coming. And it's kind of loud because I'm not that far from where the tracks used to be.
Casey Jones driving that train high on cocaine.
Riding that ghost train.
That ghost train. That could be a teaser for a future episode of Mostly Ghost Train.
Mostly Ghost.
It's like
when you get your ticket punched, you take the ghost train.
I want to do a dance show called Ghost Train where humans dance with paranormal spirits. With afro.
Could be.
Ghost Train, baby. You got it. Bill, how you doing over there? You look very sad to be here.
I ain't sad.
You're a good man. The ghoulie, that it's funny, right behind your shoulder, it looks like a middle finger, whatever that. What is that?
It is the middle finger.
I like it, dude. I like it.
I have no intentions of using this because I think this is hysterical. And I think if anything, I'm just going to get a little black rose, stick it in the top.
That's even more Kubrickian, and that's kind of like the art in Clockwork Orange. Should have that person would have weird stuff like that.
Well, no, it's funny because the way it's set up, you would have to naturally hold it like this so you can put the product in. The carb is over the ring finger, and you actually inhale through the top of the
middle. It's a pipe?
It's a pipe.
Oh, I thought it was like art, like porcelain, like a porcelain, just art piece. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I see it as an art piece. I don't actually see it as something I want to use for any recreational use or otherwise. But I think it's just a fun-looking centerpiece.
Only Frankenstein over here would do something like that. That thing's probably gonna burn a hole through that table by the time we're done with the show. But Ray Bootman, you got some trick or treaters you gotta get to. I heard or something like that.
I think I got to do a few tricks.
All right. Oh shit! I like the sound of that. Damn.
Give myself a few treats.
Fuck yeah. Hawk's just zoned out. He's ready to leave the house and go meet up with you.
I'm always zoned out, man.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Oh, you're a good man. It's okay. But all right, Ray. Thank you.
No problem. You all take care.
You too. Happy HoRRoRWEEN, kid. Happy HoRRoRWEEN.
Happy HoRRoRWEEN, Halloween, and life.
There you go. It's big. All right, Ray. Catch up with you later.
Take care.
Later.
Take care.
Here we go, man. I want to share with you not a Kodak moment, but a Prozac moment. Smile, man, because this shit really happened to Insane Shane McKane. Check it out. Goes like this. I was chilling at my girl's house, trying to cop a few Z's. Well, I couldn't sleep because her crazy dog was sitting there barking at me. He was digging up under the box spring, looking for his favorite toy. Well, I wasn't gonna get no sleep, so I said, I'll get it for you, boy. So I jumped down on the floor, started digging up under the bed. Well, I never did find that chewy toy, but I did find something instead. All tucked away was this shoebox. Said, what the hell is that? So I pulled it out and opened it up, and I almost had a heart attack. She got a box full of cocks, and she keeps it under the bed. She got a box full of cocks, all those dicks I'll fuck it with my head.
ISM. You know, when you wake up late at night on a Halloween Eve, and you approach the window with the frost on it, and you hear the children going, ISM. You know, there's only one person that they're chanting for, and that is Insane Shane McKane. How's it going over there, boys? Because Shane McKane's audio is about to pop in a moment. So you guys are doing good. How you enjoying HoRRoRWEEN this year so far?
Oh, are you talking to me, homeboy?
No, I was talking to these other ladies over here being wild. No, how you doing over there in Insane
No, I
Shane
don't.
McKane?
Listen, I'm a spiritual guy. I don't want to monopolize your show. I always say hoes before bros. You know what I'm saying? So I got nothing but mad respect for these women. You know.
Oh,
So
yeah.
go ahead, man.
We're so butchy over here.
We're ahead of the curve.
What's happening?
Nada, dude. How you doing over there?
How am I doing? Well, you know, I know a lot of people have answered and used very banal, mundane words, but I'm a turdsmith. I'm the shit. So I make my own words up. And I am sexcellent, spelled with 3 X's and an S before excellent. And because I'm Jewish, I don't do mic drop, I do kike drop. You know what I'm saying? We're the chosen people. God loves y'all, but not as much. I'm just saying. Shalom. You know, I'm good.
I like to hear that. We've got Off to the other gentleman with us here, we have in the Army shirt, we have Alexander the Hawk.
Hi, how you doing?
What's happening, brother? I'm good, and yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Are you? I see something in back of you, and I want to know: are you in a Japanese bathhouse? Because I want to know. Because I heard the women there are really awesome, and the happy endings are so great.
So happy.
You know?
Actually, I am in the Japanese bathhouse. That's where I live. I got kicked out of my regular house, so you know, I'm just subletting right now.
I love it, man. Well, hopefully there's a lot of sound, insulation between you and the next apartment. But, I'm looking at it. It looks like a serious caper with a lot of insulation paper. But I'm down with you, brother. I love it. I just wish it's like, let's make a deal. Like, let's make a drug deal, then suddenly, like, you're like, you win the prize, Shane. Here's an ounce of weed. And behind the curtain are 3, Japanese geisha girls, So I'm waiting for that moment, Alexander. I'm just saying.
Hey, me too. Me too.
That's what's up, homie. Well, anyway, I'm really happy to be here with all of you. So I don't want to monopolize this. It's not all about me, So, caring is sharing, but on Halloween, caring is scaring. Am I right?
It's truth. It's truth. We also have the great William Coyne, Billy Coyne, with us here. Special effects artist extraordinaire.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
There it is.
Yeah, that's a badass name, brother. I like that, man. Did you say your last name is Coyne?
Not just a name, but a way of life, buddy.
Fucking love it, man. Coyne, that's fucking serious, man. I want to be down with you, man, because my mission statement is I want to get, laid and paid, and then I got it made. And with your last name, we're going to make some moves here. I'm just saying, the Hebrew heroes like you. Coyne is good.
Well, interestingly enough, even though my family name is Coyne, when my cousin got married, she married to a family and his name was Shekel. So I thought that was hysterical.
Fuck out. No, come on, dude.
Seriously. Yeah, my cousin Catherine Coyne married this guy. His name was like Andrew Shekel. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Now they're going to have a bunch of little dimes and pennies running around in the family.
Yo, that's a fucking Prozac moment. Coyne, Mr. Coyne and Mrs. Coyne and Mr. Shekel, do you take each other to be rich? I don't know.
Yeah. No, and I think she married into a Jewish family. So now now we got the best of both worlds on the Coyne side.
No, I'm right with you, bro, because I'm only half Jewish myself, and I only outed myself in like 2021. Like before that, everybody thought I was a redneck. I'd go on radio shows, and because I majored in acting and directing, so I go on these morning radio shows and be like, "So Shane, it's good to have you." Well, I'm happy to be here with y'all. It's a privilege. I just want to say, but really, the truth is, I was bar mitzvahed. So it was one big mind fuck. And to get back to it, I outed myself in 2021 and said it's time. I don't mean outed myself like I like bitches. I know some of them think I'm gay, but I'm willing to prove I'm not. I'm just saying. No, I actually outed myself as a Greek Jew, tall, dark, and neurotic, does redneck rap, and called the motherfucking CD politically incorrect cock-a-doodle Jew. Woo! They asked me, what's it about? Is it real? Yeah, I thought so. It was a Prozac moment. I said, is it real or am I faking? I'm the only redneck doesn't eat bacon. So what's shaking? Yeah. They loved it.
I love it.
Well, I'm glad. Big love.
Well, you should see it, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and see if they have any casting calls coming up.
Eventually, man, when I start blowing it up again and I put the insane brand out there, I'm sure, opportunity will knock here and there. And, I don't care about money. You know what I'm saying? Like, money's not my God. So if I like a project and I'm down with it, I'll do it. And if I don't, I fucking won't, But Larry David, yeah, he's one of the chosen people. I like him. I love the way his format, the way he approached his show.
Yeah.
Where like Seinfeld was way more scripted, probably not a lot of improv, but he definitely gave it all of his people free reign. That was heavily improvisational, and then they cut it up and made it work.
He is George,
and I like him. I like Larry David.
It's amazing how much.
Yes,
he really is.
No, he's a really talented guy, and
very talented. Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that his humor, it's just nice to know that like there's still, you know, an avenue out there for some, you know, Jewish ethnic humor. I mean, the
Mel
only
Brooks,
person,
I think, is another great example.
yeah, I was just gonna say Mel Brooks, Woody Allen completely personifies the neurotic little Jew. I mean,
neurotic.
yeah, I was raised with people like that. I know these fucking people. Then they're real. I mean, you know that they're neurotic and old and Jewish when, you know, you're like, wow, there's only a little bit distance between the earlobes and the shoulder blades. Like they could be connected with one more piece of skin. What? What? I just said what I said. But you think I don't know? You want to be a rock star? Go ahead, be a rock star. So you kill your mother with your life choices, but you should be happy. I know those guys. Yeah. Everybody else had cool ass tattoos, and they were like, "This tattoo here was given to me by the Third Reich. I didn't want it." I'm like, all right, that's dark. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, hello there, Matt.
Hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that as we're talking, life is about balance, my friends. And I have in one hand a coffee, and in the other hand, I'm about to crack a beer. So that's what you call, in my mind, a legal speedball.
There you go.
Right on. So anyway, how's everybody else doing? You know, happy, since we're going to stay in context, happy Halloween.
Yes.
Happy Halloween.
You know?
Happy Halloween Eve to everyone.
Yes. What am I say? I'm going to, yeah, La fucking Chaim. There you go. I'm gonna open this because it ain't even open. You hear this, bro? Hear this fucking sound? Here it goes. That is the sound of Zen.
Very much so.
We have Shane McKane. 3 albums.
Yes, sir.
3 albums deep. Everybody out there, go check out Insane Shane McKane's music. It's the best ever.
Well, I can only tell you people that don't know who the fuck I am, but it's okay. You're in good company because even in therapy, I'm not sure who the fuck I am, but I'm going to get there, you know. So I'm a work in progress fucking slow. But I can tell you, man, if anybody is interested in delving deeper into my psyche, which is almost like embracing drugs that are harmful, but I am not a rock star. Rock stars are antiquated, like leaded fucking gasoline, like old, like fucking fossil fuel, gone, antiquated. I am a shock star, a mock star, and a college graduate. Get your minds out of the gutter. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm down with it. But you know, hey man, this is a collaborative effort. You know, I don't want to monopolize everything. You know, I want everybody to get their chance to vent, to talk about Halloween, and I don't know, whatever the fuck else. Sometimes I roll with it. You know,
you're the man of the moment right now. We've all been on the show for a little bit, and you are the big guest of honor. You know what I mean?
Right on, man. Well, I'm happy to be here. I don't usually dress up for Halloween. You know, once in a while I do. This year I did. Well, once again, it was a Jewish thing. You know, after Halloween a few years back, all the costumes went on sale. So I was like, this is the time to buy.
Yeah.
So I bought a fucking like a $300 gorilla suit. I mean, this shit was legit, man. I mean, this was like Planet of the Apes shit. Okay.
Those aren't cheap either.
No, dude. It was real money. And it was like, I mean, everything. I had the paws, I had the feet, I had the mask, I had the fur. I mean, I put this motherfucking thing on, and I don't know why I did it, because it was like after Halloween, and you know, I had a girl come into the house, and I decided, you know, maybe alcohol had something to do with it. I don't know, but I drank a little, and I put the fucking gorilla outfit on. I was like, yo, this is just over the top, you know? So I decided she was coming home with a whole bunch of beer and wine and liquor, you know. So she finally pulled up, and me having no life, no purpose, and being a little bit off kilter, I was hiding in the bushes in my gorilla outfit for a while. I mean, it was really, I was out there for like 20 minutes, like just stooping like a fucking sick stalker, you know, waiting for her to pull up. She gets out. She's got all these bottles of all this, what some people call a problem. I called distilled salvation. And she's walking up the fucking walkway with it, this concrete walkway. And then I had this distorted epiphany where I needed to run out, miming, a monkey, fucking really getting into character, doing it well. And I ran up on her, making all these kind of, hoo, 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 really good sounds, like they used to do on Jerry Springer. Whoo, 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 that kind of stuff. It was really good, primal. And I ran up on her, and because I'm a trained actor, apparently it was very effective. And she screamed, dropped all of these precious bottles, 2/3 of which broke. And then she called me names that, it was heartwarming. It kind of brought me back to what my mom would say to me, a lot of things that they would call CPS now for, but back then it was just fun, And then we went inside, and I didn't get any pussy for like 3 days until I went and replenished the stock of stuff. So that's a Halloween story right there, or a post-Halloween story, But I thought to myself, I really should put this fucking outfit on. But then I was like, I would have to stay in areas that were well lit and around festive kind of environments. Because I'm here to tell you, man, if like I went out in the woods in this motherfucking shit, man, I definitely
Get shot in a second.
I would get shot by like 5 rednecks in camo drinking Jack Daniels, going like, "Where's your fucking big shoot that?" Why don't we just tranquilize? We ain't got no damn tranquilizer. Just shoot the fucking thing. We're going to get paid and get your camera. Let's get some pictures, fucking thing. They would shoot me, take my mask off, and one of them would have a revelation and say, "I don't think we should take a picture of this Bigfoot. I don't think it's going to go well for us, and I don't think we're going to get paid." Then they'd have a fight, and then they'd end up, and the guy'd be like, "Now, don't you see, you dumb fucks? You mean you're fighting on this fucking whatever the fuck it is now? Your DNA's all over the fucking the Bigfoot. Now we need to bury the son of a bitch."
We just got the 4x4. We need to move this body on the double right now.
There you go. That might work. I'll go get the 4x4 and the winch, Why are you going to get a winch when we need a chain? I said a winch, you dumb sack of shit. Don't talk to me the way Daddy does. Them kind of motherfuckers. Then they would take me out and they would dig a fucking hole, throw me in it. And that would be the end of my Halloween experience. And it would be a huge loss for mankind. The missing link would be buried.
They buried you. They killed you and you came back. That's very Halloween-like. I like that.
Yeah, well, the only kind of resurrection I have ever experienced was when I banged a girl for the second time, and I got hard, and that it was called a resurrection. What most motherfuckers can't do. I hit it, spiritually speaking, I hit it with everything but a backhand. Because I want to satisfy women because I love them. All right?
Of course. Especially
big love. I like big love with no glove. Love it in the oven.
Well, that's a
hallelujah.
No glove, no love.
Just like you rocking your gang colors. Yeah, I noticed Matt is wearing a hat with the letter B on it. What's that stand for? Stand for booty?
That's BoomBastic, baby.
I was just I know that, man. I was just testing you to see if you was on your fucking toes, okay?
I'm always
I knew that. All right, so I don't really know. I'm looking at these 2 beautiful beverages here, and I'm trying to decide. Beer? All right. So one vote says beer. Who says coffee? Who says beer? I want to hear it.
Go for the beer. You can chase it down with the coffee.
Take the beer.
All right. Well, and here's a toast. I'm going to propose first a toast for everyone, which I think is very altruistic. I know everybody will want this one. This is to my health, my wealth, and myself. Hallelujah. And this is one for just the bros, the guys, when there's no women around. I prefer my beer with yeast and my women without.
Very
Yeah.
good quality to look for. Anyway.
Well, thank you, brother. You know, it's what I strive for, you know. Don't want that dankety dank, stankety stank, skankety skank, nay, 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 nay. Some strippers actually don't realize that the booty, the poonie is the fucking product. So before you, I mean, it's okay to smoke a little crack and take a pill and drink, but you need to maintenance the product, you know, scrubby dub dub the love, you know, before you come in there and try to peddle your poonie. I mean, Ben is my friend, but if you come in with a dirty coochie, it's pussy on clearance. Okay, that's a Jewish thing right there. You tell a bitch it's a Monday night. There ain't nobody else in the house. Okay, the only thing going on here is a Hebrew national in my pants. You got a bun and I got a couple of dollars, so I don't think we're going for regular price here. It's pussy on clearance. Let's make a deal. You've got what I want. I got what you need.
Let's walk around the bed and make an assessment.
That's what it is. I would go in the back room with him, in the VIP room, the champagne room. And I'm here to tell you, the only thing I didn't get in that room was fucking champagne. I'm here to tell you that in that fucking room where you're not allowed to do shit, there was more DNA in there than a fucking crime scene.
As we all learn, there's no sex in the champagne room.
I beg to differ.
Good for you, my friend.
Oh, are you kidding, man? I had so much pussy in the champagne room. I can't fucking tell you.
That was a fucking great song. Such
Oh,
a
yeah. Yeah, no doubt about that. No, I had a lot of fun. Then I
that
also
was Chris
bought
Rock, wasn't it? No
Chris Rock
sex in the champagne room.
That was the name of his album, I think.
Yeah, I think
something like
you
that.
might be right. Yeah, that is a good hook, actually, and it's
Yeah,
very
I
fucking
mean-
true.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
but
if
it's
you
so
go in-
funny because you look at so many great comedians that, you know, were recording these albums and how so many other comedians would listen to, you know, the older albums, you know. I mean, I hear like Pryor was probably one of the most listened to comedians that so many people love, you know, and just try to find their own hook and try to, like, you know, make their own. But it's so hard when it comes to that originality aspect because you draw inspirations from so many people that just you almost want to be that just really influence you and where you find your own voice eventually.
Well, I think in life, in philosophy, in art, in music, in everything we do, I mean, we are all, you know, I mean, who said it? Well, you know, I'm a shock star, so I'm just going to say we are all, the man is going to say we are all products, you know, of our experiences, you know.
Yeah.
Everything. We're all, you know, we are, what is my trying to say? The man would say we are a sum of our experiences.
Yeah.
We are what we're exposed to, what we've learned. And then the myth, Shane McKane would say, well, I mean, you know, we are what society makes us. The greatest philosopher of all time said that in court. He said, I am what you've made me. But no one really saw or listened to that so well because they were fixated on the keloid swastika on Charlie Manson's head. But the message was very clear, was very profound, very prolific. It was mind fucking. It was very prophylactic. That's what I would say is Shane McKane. But the man would agree with you and say, no matter what we do, we are all products of everything we've been exposed to, musically, philosophically, good and bad, you know. So I'm with you. Even me, even though I wasn't birthed, you know, I was hatched. Yeah, I was hatched, you know, I wasn't, yeah. I mean, I was just in a pod with a lot of other weird extraterrestrial, I don't know, weird
Just
DNA.
climbed out of
And-
some primordial ooze and, you know, came onto the land and become who you are today.
I use the other grays like a stepping stone, meaning to get out of the pod, I just stepped on all their heads until they all just splattered and looked like every one of them. I mean, to my recollection of my birthing, they all looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy, but skinnier and uglier. That was, and I just came out of it. And, you know, well, I was telling you, no matter whether it's extraterrestrial or whether it's, you know, our own world, most people subscribe to the concept of Darwinism, which is survival of the fittest.
Killer
And yeah, exactly. I don't do that. I'm like, I'm more relaxed. I'm more like chill or be chilled, you know. But then there's what I subscribe to, which is not Darwinism, because that's just for mere mortals. I subscribe to Starwinism, not survival of the fittest, survival of the shittest. Mic drop. I'm at the top of the food chain eating every fucking thing I want and anybody. If things fucking south and the whole thing goes down and COVID starts killing other fucking people, I say thank God for the EBT card and the double wide divas in their 4X pajama jeans, because I can just take what I need, shoot one, butcher, chill, and live off that for the entire fucking ordeal.
I like that.
You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. You can eat fucking cans from the food pantry. I will be eating a double wide diva in 4X pajama jeans.
That's gotta have standards.
Yeah.
I'm at the top of the food chain.
You get a lot of cuts of meat out of that, I bet. Before you came on, Alexander was talking about how he likes to dice up women.
Really?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, he's a sick fuck, you know.
Yeah, well, I try not to talk too much about that in case Big Brother's listening.
Everybody needs a hobby. You know what I mean?
Why wouldn't you? Why does your big brother want a piece of the meat that you don't want to give him or something? I missed that.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about the Big Brother of us.
Talking about the G-Men, the government.
G-Men.
Watching out for them. They've been watching FBI.
I'm sure they got every place of this bathhouse boat.
I don't know, guys. You know, y'all are worried about the eye in the sky. I'd say, you know what? I'd say the eye in the sky. How about you look at the eye in my fly? Fuck the drones. Fuck the eye in the sky. Why don't y'all look at the eye in my fly?
Okay.
I know I'm not politically correct. I always tell people that I am less concerned with political correctness and more concerned with my dick and the erectness. I am a penis, one smart prick, PENIUS, fucking with the planet. God damn it.
Woo!
Kite drop. Thank you, Jesus. Who also happened to be a Jew that looked a little like me, actually. Blue eyes, brown hair, probably got a lot of pussy, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? We're not down in the Bible Belt. I'm here in the libel belt. I'm in New York, okay, with all the other idiots and hipsters. I was driving over the mountain today in my Hummer, and I saw a woman standing there at the lookout by herself, wearing a fucking mask. What the fuck is up with that?
Halloween. HoRRoRWEEN's coming. You know what I mean? You wear masks for HoRRoRWEEN.
Yeah, I thought about that. They're so unoriginal. They're all wearing the same costume. Hipsters. Yeah. They're all dressing as hipsters, and it's so fucking funny. They all look like idiots. And then, of course, the people that ride bicycles, they all look like fucking Spider-Man. They all have like 4 colors. They all look like superheroes.
Put some effort into it. I agree with you. I mean, it's so mundane. It's like, fuck. Just think about what you're doing. Get lively. Use vibrant colors.
Well, they are using vibrant colors. All these guys on bicycles, all these fucking hipsters, squinting with intensity. I bought, the latest bike. I mean, it was only $800, but it's worth every penny of it because, it's much lighter than the other bikes. And I know when I leave the law firm and I put it on, it gets right on my Land Rover in no time. And we go up to the country, and before we know it, man, I have my blinker, on the back of my head, like an ET. I'm wearing 6 or 7 colors, which is very vibrant, very festive, and very safe. And I have 28 speeds. And I really feel that my cardio is done. My watch is tracking, how many pulse, how many beats are going at the same time. And I'm using all my hand signals. And I'm really doing a great job. And the only thing that really I have an issue with is that my voice has become very effeminate, like most other men of my age in this decade, meaning the decline of the Roman Empire, where most of us are receiving more than giving. And I've got sheep burns on my elbows. But anyway, back to biking and hiking. We love it.
Those are the people you want to punch. Just by you saying that, if someone actually said that to me, how the hell would you not want to punch them?
We're not violent people here. Bill, you're a
We
violent.
say we're not, but it's just internally. It's like,
All right, well, I can answer that because the person that I would say that to would have to have this moment of self-reflection where they realized I was an alpha, they were a beta, I was dangerous, they were not. I had a lot of street fighting experience, and the only thing that ever hit anybody with was a lawsuit, and it was not painful. And then they'd realize, don't light the fuse if you don't want to hear the news. There's no such thing as a fair, no such thing as a fair fight. And I would tell them out of tough love, I'd give them a warning. And I'd say, there's places you don't want to be. Choose THC and not ER. Not ICU. ICU are terrible words. Don't you understand?
gotta pick
Go
those
buy yourself.
battles. You really gotta pick those
I tell
battles now.
If they want to take a shot, if they want to get froggy, jump. If they want to get on prime time, swing at the king. And we'll go from there.
I wonder who has more bodies, Shane McKane or Alex Hawk, who's got more bodies under their belt.
I believe in if
He's not going to tell he's romantic about it. He doesn't tell his murder victim number.
Yeah, don't tell us your necrophiliac story, dog, and it's dirty things you do.
I gotta say my body count's pretty good, but I'm not one to brag, you know.
That's nice.
Well, I don't have anything to do with that. I said, what did I say the other day? I said it to somebody. I said, I got to remember what I actually said. It was a good line. I said, I'm an OG. I'm an OG, but I ain't into lock and load. I sob like a bitch if I hit a chipmunk on the road. No, the only body count I have, and I think that's what you're saying is, can I count the number, how many bodies do I have below the belt? So if I'm hearing you right, I know he said he killed a lot of people, and I'm not a snitch or a bitch, so I have nothing to say about that. How many bodies do I have below the belt? I was drinking a lot, so I don't really know a specific number of women that have sucked my dick, but I'm trying to remember it. From below the belt, how many bodies below the belt? As a musician, how many girls put tulips on my organ? I don't know.
Make love, not war.
Heck yeah.
All I know is in close to 20 years now in special makeup effects, I can say comfortably, I probably killed over 50 people minimum. For the magic of the movies.
That's dope, bro. I love that. I'm very intrigued with what you do, actually, man. Every creature is my teacher, so I am actually quite intrigued with what you do. I can't imagine what it would be like. The man says, I admire and am curious about your trade. The myth says, what can you do to make other people look more like me? Do God's work, Try to make them look GQ, goddamn queer.
Yeah, I mean, that's a term I use personally. It's like, okay, so we have the GQ dude here on set. He's obviously getting killed, so he's probably going to need his life cast his body. We have Tits McGee over here, so obviously she's going to be getting killed in some way. So we're either going to do a life, whatever. But I mean, I come up with nicknames for everyone. I can never remember names on set. GQ dude. I don't actually say Tits McGee. I'll say Susie.
I was going to say you should clarify that. Yeah.
No.
I've never heard Billy ever call anybody Tits McGee. Never in my life.
That's just my internal monologue. I'll usually
Tits McGee, but that was one time though.
I would. Well, hey, bro, I love what you said. I mean, I would call any man tits, but I wouldn't give a fuck. So yeah. Fuck them.
Yeah,
Do you know that actually? That reminds me, bro. I had a song that I want to record. I want to do like a concept compilation called Helvis. That's Elvis with an HELL on it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the tracks was called Man Teats. Yeah, and it was badass, man. And it was like all I remember was like the chorus. I have some other shit written, but the chorus was like, man teats, cow udders, big old titties on a fat motherfucker. Man teats, soft as jelly, laying comfortably on his belly. Big and hairy, kind of scary. Look at them dangling down. I hate to say it, He's got the nicest teeth around. Woo, you know, look at that. Woo, dog, look at that rack. Look, wish my bitch had titties like that. You know, it's fucking with my reality. Make a wigger question his sexuality, but hey, you know, it's like pretty hot. You know?
And I love that because for some weird reason, what comes to my head, like musically, is almost like a Les Claypool, like Primus type of sound behind it, just really offbeat and killjoy.
Yep.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Primus, and I love like that real, you know, where I don't want to say nonsensical music, but I love stuff like Bloodhound, the Gang. I love that real party atmosphere when people really play with words. They are, you know, they know what the hell they're saying, but it's just, you know, like where the song starts and the song ends, you don't know. And so you just go on this crazy journey with the artist. And I love that about,
right on, bro.
You know, music.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm all about it. I mean, music should, if it's well written, I think it should be less narcissistic and more about, the mission statement should be about good art in any form that entertains and keeps people, you know, focused. Because this, in my opinion, this is what I've termed an ADD society. So that by them, you know, showing you this journey, keeping you interested on the way, man, it's mind candy, you know, and that's what it should be.
And it's how you keep them entertained, as you said, because that's what it's all about. I mean, when you can find that balance of what insanity you need to go through in order to make everything balanced. So whoever is listening to your music, it's like, I understand this journey. And now I want to listen to more. And I think that's why, you know, I mean, and plus congratulations, you know, on 3 CDs, because, you know, it's just, you never know how, you know, things are going to twist and turn, you know, especially with the music industry and how it changes so much every few years.
Yeah, no doubt. And thanks for saying that. I've been true to my own art form. Like I said, I really think, you know, behind the man behind the curtain, there's, you know, the Wizard of Oz, you know, where they get there and they see this big apparition, you know, on the screen with all the, you know, the old special effects, man, with the little fire and, you know, the big Wizard of Oz. And then you see the little guy behind the curtain, this little unassuming putz, you know, pulling all fucking levers, you know. And behind the scenes, you know, Insane Shane McKane is, you know, all that smoke and mirrors and all that big stuff, you know, all that big theater. But me, man, you know, I'm very humble, actually, man. The guy behind the curtain is all about basic business, man. It's supply and demand. I want to give you what you want and what you need.
Because there's the business. I see it as vaudeville, you know. I mean, it's how you put yourself out there and you project yourself as an artist. That's the vaudevillian element. That's the fun part that you're doing it. And then behind the scenes, it's like, all right, now I have to think of my business practices. And it's like, what do I need to do just to keep afloat like everyone else? Because at the end of the day, all we want to do is just, you know, keep our head above water.
Right, and do our art. See, for me, I divided them, you know. I just said, like when I went down to Nashville years ago and I brought them country rap, you know, I synthesized these 2 elements. It was very G-rated, you know, and it worked, it flowed seamlessly. But I sat down with some people that were pretty high up that, you know, could have made some real things happen. And they basically, you know, they listened to it. And it was in the Bible Belt, my come to Jesus moment. And he's like, and I'll say it exactly the way he said it. He was like, oh, well now, the first thing you need to do before we even take this any further now is to get that rap out of the country. First thing, I mean, and I'm not here trying to insult you, son. You're a good songwriter. I can hear the craft in what you've done. But this is Nashville. This is the Bible Belt. This is no place for the rap music. That's never going to fly down here, son. So you need to take the rap out of the country and God bless, but bring it to the people that want to hear it, because we don't want to hear it down here. But I don't want to discourage you. Now, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. You need to get rap out the country, and then I'm going to make some calls, and we're going to get you a publishing deal at the bottom, because you got some skills there, and you're going to write songs as a staff writer for a number of years until you get your own publishing up. You got a couple of #1 hits under your belt, and then you're going to have your own publishing. And if they think you need to be one of the people fronting the music, then that will happen slowly and with God's help.
And what year was this when you heard that?
Dude, this was probably 18 fucking years ago. Like I can't get
It was only like what, only a few years later when everything changed. So you were one of the first who was really. So this was shortly after.
I got to
when
tell you, bro.
came in before.
Yes,
you know.
straight up. I'm giving it to you straight. The truth is pure. Like the coke I used to snort, the good shit, pure. Okay. So when I tell you this, man, I don't brag. You know, like I don't front. Time and energy are precious. I ain't trying to fake it till I make it. In my mind, I've already made it. Yeah, it was me. And maybe Bubba Sparks and maybe somebody else that started this genre. Like, and in all honesty, man, the reason my stuff never took off, in my humble opinion, two things. One is I laced my stuff with comedy and satire and did it in more of an artistic way, less of a cookie cutter way that was more marketable, two-dimensional, and accessible to country people. And what was the other reason? Oh, and I'm fucking Jewish, which would have been fucking unveiled. You can't have a Greek Jew breaking a new genre in Nashville. It's never going to fucking happen.
Oy vey.
Yeah, I used to say I'm Greek Jew. I'm yippee-yo chaye. I just, you know. But no, I did. I think I was one of the people that actually started it. And it's not, you know, I mean, even like when Kid Rock, like I was one of the pioneers of this. Definitely one of the first five, if not one of the first two or three, you know. And the other day, man, I Googled myself, which I never do. And I saw, and I don't know how a lot of this multimedia works, man, but I saw myself on, I think it was Spotify. And it said some shit like Insane Shane McKane Radio. I was like, I don't know what that is because I ain't received no money for it. And then I looked at it and it was like kind of cool. It was like they combined me with Bubba Sparks and Colt 40 and like a handful of other guys, like maybe 5 or 6 other guys that I guess they felt were comparable in sound and genre and period. I don't really know, but it was, you know, flattering. But I don't try to make money from my music. Like I just do it as a labor of love. Like I'm an underground cult wigger. That's what I've been. People know about me. The music mafia knows about me. Kid Rock's manager.
Another artist that comes to mind is kind of in the vein you're talking. I don't know how prevalent he is anymore, but do you remember Mojo Nixon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
I know the name.
He had a very specific sound, and I believe he was also a recording artist, you know, and did some really interesting type of country, kind of like Johnny Cash, but kind of fresh, making it his own.
Man,
I know the name and I know I've heard the music, but I'm having a mental, I can't think of what he's done, but I know the name and I know I've heard his music.
What was the Troma film? Was it Butt Crack, Matty, that he did, or I think he did something with Troma, but I'm kidding.
Not the Rockabilly Vampire movie. Was it that?
It was I know Mojo Nixon was a part of it, but
yeah.
Did he play fucking in the Mario Brothers? Was he the King Koopa that changed? Was that Mojo Nixon? Fuck.
What, that actor that turns into the Koopa? No.
Yeah.
That's the actor that I always get confused with the actor that Hawk works with in the bigger movies there. Robert Lasso there.
Yeah, Robert Lasso.
I get those two mixed up, yeah. I had an Insane Shane McKane question though.
Sure. By the way, I have to ask you, is Troma Lloyd Kaufman?
Yeah, that's Lloyd.
Still. I remember you had a little brush with them.
I had a little brush with that guy. Well, not him, but on his set, yeah. Lloyd, I didn't like Lloyd, man. Wasn't really feeling him, dude.
Yeah.
No, actually, yeah. And, you know, I mean, he's a cheap, you know, here I am being like all sugarcoating things. Yo, man, he is a self-absorbed, cheap-ass wigger. W-I-G-G-E-R.
Ooh, E-R, dang.
Fuck that motherfucker, man. Yo, when you have people traveling from all over to be like little extras and one-liners in your film, and when it's time, and you keep them there all fucking day. No. Yo, nigga needs to hear this, okay? You treat others the way you want to be treated. And don't walk around the fucking set like you're fucking Francis Ford Coppola, you know, in deep contemplation about the significance and the spirituality and, you know, and the legacy of what you're going to leave here. Yo, the guy is Swamp Thing. You're going to do a Swamp Thing scene. Let's fucking lighten it up, dog. And at the end of the fucking day, if you keep me here for 6 fucking hours and dress me up as a Nazi in with a fucking Hitler mustache and gas my fucking hair back and it's time for lunch. You need to splurge on a long fucking cold cut hero with $20 worth of fucking bologna and some Sam's Club soda, you POS. You can't tell me I cannot fucking eat. You need to give me time to take my Hitler mustache off and have a little slice of your $50 catering, bitch.
Not even. You're getting paid in blocks of cheese.
He was a POS. I told him. I'm like, and not only that, I almost got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because back then when I did the movie, there was no cell phones. We were at like the.
What production were you on? I mean,
I don't fucking know. Fuck that fucking some stupid
Citizen
shit.
Citizen
This is what I can
Toxie.
tell you.
I can tell you this real quick. This was for Citizen Toxie, and if you remember, because I remember like when this happened, it was for the role of the Nazi who gets the needles in his face and goes, "Oh no, I've got AIDS."
Yeah.
Pretty positive.
No, I
with
don't
that
know,
role.
man. Well, no. This is what I can tell you. I think I'm in the movie. I don't even know. Like I couldn't tell you, but I was one of the. I think I was in it. I was one of the fucking Nazis, like that was in a straight line in some scene. I was there when, it's a long time ago, but I think it was like Kabuki Man. Does that sound right? Or some
Yeah.
stupid shit
So you were working with like Trent Hager then, on that.
I don't
You
know,
would have been.
man.
It was. I'm pretty positive.
Here's what I can tell you.
Toxie.
Well, the only thing I can tell you is it was filmed, I believe, in Wingdale at the old abandoned state hospital, which had a vibe like nobody's business. You want to talk about a heavy spiritual Halloween vibe? That fucking place had it. That place was horrible, man. You walked in it and you just felt the terrible things that had gone on there. It was a closed up. I think it was Wingdale out in Dutchess County that we drove.
They talk about it in the documentary. Yeah, I mean,
that scene that
was the
I'm
movie.
thinking of is in a hospital.
Yeah, that was the movie I was in. That one. And I was dressed as a Nazi. So yeah, you might, if I'm in it, I'm in this row of Nazis and shit. But I left and I didn't see it sign the waiver either. I don't think. I fucking was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I just left the fucking set. Not only that, I went to the phone booth. I had to, like, during a break, I wanted to call this chick. I was all pussy whipped over. And I'm dressed as Hitler. I mean, a full fucking Nazi regalia, you know what I'm saying? And I walk all the way over to the fucking train station. I'm on the phone with this chick. And these three brothers get off the fucking train and they are looking at me like,
oh, fuck.
You're fucking so dead, motherfucker. And I'm like, oh, hold on. I'm going to have to deal with this. This doesn't look good. I need you, hold on. And I was like, guys, I'm not a Nazi. They were like, I was like, yeah, no, I know I look like a Nazi. And I know I look a lot like Hitler. And I know I have a swastika on my arm and I'm in a German uniform. But no, I'm not about this. It's like, they were going to kick my fucking ass. And then finally I said, no. Dudes, two things. Number one, I'm Jewish, man. I'm Jewish. I'm no Nazi, bro. And there's a film being filmed right over there, man. They couldn't see the film, but then they were like, yeah, all right, like, I'm going to beat this fucking dude up and, get an assault charge because he's an actor. Right. And they left me alone. But so anyway, that's my Lloyd Kaufman story. That was where we filmed it. That was the movie. And I remember, the only scene I remember was the one I was in. And then the one where Kabuki Man and some other Wigger man were like in a car that caught fire. And like they had like the two lines like that were like amazing. And they both jump out of the car at like,
it might have been Toxie possibly.
Yeah, I think it was Toxic something like Revenge of the Toxic.
The Toxic Avenger.
Yes, it was the Toxic Avenger. I was in Toxie. Boom.
Oh yeah.
So you were in the fourth. So you were in the fourth one in the series.
I don't know, bro. I've never watched any of these movies.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you.
No, because it was Citizen Toxie. You're saying you were on, right?
The one that was filmed in New York, upstate in Dutchess County. I was in this portion of it that was filmed in the abandoned psychiatric hospital.
Yeah.
So,
because I believe Lloyd also. Well, Poultrygeist was probably shot in the same area, I imagine, because it seems like came up.
Yo, you know who was on that film? Now that you're thinking, I swear to fucking God, I think I remember Corey Feldman was there. I think he was
Feldman was
there.
on Citizen Toxic.
Yeah, he comes in for a day. He was there for a day.
Yeah, and that was the day.
Angry Dwarf have a scene together.
Yeah, and Hank the Angry Dwarf. Yeah.
Oh, that's the day I was there. That was the day I was there. Yeah.
He plays God. Hank the Angry Dwarf plays God. And then
I didn't see him.
Ron Jeremy, I think, was there for a day.
Ron Jeremy's somewhere else right now.
I just remember I was there when Corey Feldman was there. And I was like, isn't that kid from like the little kid star, Lost Boys or Lost at Home? I don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
And he was there and he was like walking around like he was like all like the shit. And I was like, dude, I think this is what you call motherfucker fall from grace. Here with Lord Kaufman, you're down on your face. Look at the psychiatric place. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
no, absolutely.
But I know you guys are all tight with him. You guys are all tight with him. So I just wanted to say, karma's a bitch. And yeah, man, you need to feed your wiggers some fucking bologna. Your sausage. Fuck you. I know a lot of people like to.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, I know. You guys are tight. You guys are tight. So
we've had a few people on the show that aren't big fans of Lloyd, but we appreciate Lloyd. It's mainly, I think the thing with Lloyd is like he puts it on his sleeve that you're not going to make a lot of money with them. And I think a lot of filmmakers, they pop in and then when they give him his film and they get upset that, they're not making millions off of it. You know what I mean? But I think it does help them to have that Troma brand, you know what I mean, on their film. But we got good friends that think otherwise. So,
yeah, I mean, hey, in all honesty, Matt, I don't know the fucking dude. I'm only here to judge my experience with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I definitely have no problem. And the other thing is like a lot of these celebrities, they were always, giving each other these like, these artificial plugs, like I hear like Bono talking about Sting and Sting talking about Bono, like, and they're so, everybody's always giving the other guy these props. I like to keep it real, but like I've heard, like I'm not these fucking dudes that are like, oh, working with Bono. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah.
I mean, he's so amazing. It was an enriching experience for me to approach this collaborative effort. And then you got Bono going, well, with Sting, I mean, Jesus, he's practically a shaman. I mean, the man's been around forever. It was gripping. It was amazing to work with someone of this caliber. I'm like, shut your fat whining fucking mouth. You haven't changed your fucking sound for 20 fucking years. Why don't you two fucking fudgies get a room? I don't want to fucking hear it. If you love each other, go ahead. Kiss, make up, do whatever you want to do. I love it. Don't ask, don't tell. I don't care. I'm not going to be in your threesome. I will not be the meat for your sandwich, but I have nothing but love in my heart for you. But no, at the end of the fucking day, Lloyd Kaufman, he's a selfish, petty prick. And I'm not going to give him a fucking plug. He is, how can I say, unconsciously, he picked the name of that movie. It was Freud. It was Sick Man Freud that came up and made him call that movie what it was. Toxic. You're fucking toxic, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Mic drop.
But some people just have had difficult. I mean, they've gone on to bigger and better things.
Let's talk about the mental hospital for a bit.
Well, but that hospital was fucking
felt
creepy.
that there was vibe. There was a creepy vibe to that hospital.
Oh my God. It was horrible, dude. You could feel the fucking energy in there like a pungent psychic odor. Horrible.
You sensitive to stuff like that, or?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Insane Shane McKane is psycho, but the man is psychic, okay? I'm very, very fucking sensitive to that shit. There was some real sad spiritual, deeds that went down in that place. There's no doubt about it. And you could just feel it. You could see it. Just remnants of the most disillusioned, confusion. Just horrible, man. We just had a really, really toxic fucking
a lot of bad stuff
heavy
there, a lot of people dying, a lot of just sadness of people dying, worry, fear, hate.
Oh yeah. Well, think about it. These people are, I'm sorry to say, but all of us in life,
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on the fact that throughout all of our deals, misunderstandings, pain, suffering, searching, we all want the same thing, which is joy.
Yeah.
I mean, we are all on a quest for joy. I always say that laughter is the tickling of the soul and the ultimate expression of joy. And in these places, these people are, I mean, they're getting no joy. They have no balance in their lives. They are their own worst enemy. They hate themselves. They're self-abused. They're confused. The people that work there don't want to be there. Like it's just it's hell personified, man.
Yeah.
And that's what you feel when you go in there. You feel the horror. You feel the heaviness. You feel the sadness, the confusion, the dysfunctionality of it. It's very, very sad, man.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be there. And then when I didn't get a bologna sandwich, that was it. That was the straw that broke the mammal's back.
Maybe all that energy made everybody angry and they ate all the bologna. Maybe they ate all the bologna. You know what I mean? You never can tell. Maybe it's not Lloyd's fault after all. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
That's what it was. Lloyd tuned in to the deprivation that was going on there and was a slave to the psychic demons that made him, that were consistently saying to him while he was walking around going, what I thought he was saying to himself, like when, Jack Nicholson in The Shining was going like, Jack is a dull boy, Jack is a dull boy, Jack is a dull boy. And Kaufman was going like, I am Coppola, I am Spielberg, I am Oliver Stone, I am Oliver Stoner, I am Steven Spielberg, I am George Lucas, I am Francis fucking Ford Coppola. But actually what was really happening was he was walking around and they were like, he was just listening to this voice going, Lloyd, starve them, deprive them, do my bidding, Lloyd. You know what you are toxic, Lloyd. Do my bidding. Do not give them baloney. You're full of baloney. I hate you and you hate yourself. Don't give them cold cuts. I think you might be right. I want to pray. Let's take a moment and let's pray on Halloween or pre-Halloween.
Yeah.
To try, let's all join our virtual hands, as long as no one's been digging in their nose or jerking off. And let's pray. Let's have a moment of silence and not violence. I don't want to punch him in the face, even though there was things like you said before. Well, he said before, how can somebody say something, you get so pissed, you don't want to just punch him in the face? I wanted to punch Lloyd in the face, but to forgive is divine. So I think we should all take a moment, join virtual hands, and pray for Lloyd Kaufman to exorcise the demonic demons that overcame him during the shooting of the toxic film and make it so he can find the love in his heart to give his fellow mammals processed, fleshy bologna with lots of nitrates, and also give him the wherewithal, the humility of ego to make a movie that doesn't suck. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you.
Hallelujah.
I feel cleansed.
You could feed a town on it.
I feel better about myself just hearing that.
Well, we're all in a better place now.
Yeah, I have nothing but fake love for Lloyd Cough It Up, whatever his fucking name is. And yes, I want you to succeed in life and make a movie that makes you feel good, like you've made something that supersedes and is more well received than a porno in a motel with an iPhone.
I want to hear an Insane Shane McKane Halloween song. We got to
Halloween song?
Yes, the theme.
I don't have one.
Well, I know we got to
You're
create.
still good at freestyle, man. I'm fucking impressed. I'm sure you can come up with something really.
He's the best, dude. The theme.
Oh, I can. I mean, you're right. I am. I'm smarter than I look. All right,
I
we're
know
on the
what
same page.
the theme would be: you handing out hallucinogenic drugs to children on Halloween.
Oh no! Come on now. That is just evil.
No.
Okay, I have one for you.
I said hallucinogenic drugs.
Insane Shane McKane. I
Yes,
want
sir.
to hear you rap about the Mummy and Frankenstein and the creature from the Black Lagoon having a threesome.
What? This guy's crazy.
Right. Well, oh, fucking A. That's a Prozac moment, brother. That was a little mind bending. That was a little mind bending. All right. So give me the characters again. Not that I'm going to be able to do it, but what were the characters again?
Frankenstein, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Wolfman.
Oh my God.
That's tough, Dougie.
I don't even know where to start with this, man.
Even on Horrorween. And you got to make them being sexually active, Bill. Where's your mind, Bill?
Oh,
apparently
Jesus
somewhere not
Christ.
healthy.
Oh my fucking God. You got the Wolfman, totally hairy, looking at his dick. That's totally scary. Then you got, who was the other guys again? The preacher from the Black Lagoon?
Yeah.
I fucking forgot. Oh my God, this is just too much.
Okay, Frankenstein
I don't
and the Mummy. Just
imagine Bill Coyne being a
Frankenstein.
producer of music.
Whoa, Frankenstein and the Mummy, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm all wrapped up.
This is like, this is how the monster.
No,
managed
I'm
to
going.
behind the
Yeah,
scenes
no, I
to
feel
the
you,
Monster
bro. You
Mash
know,
80 years ago.
that's it. Boom, wanna stick it in your, boom, wanna stick it in your womb, all wrapped up in your motherfucking tomb. You know? Oh my God, I get it. You know, what is it like? Who the fuck are you? You're wrapped up just like a dummy. I'm gonna shoot a big fat load on your tummy. It's clear. It's like I can't. This is insane.
Shoot it on Frankie's tummy.
I think Frankie. I think we need. I think we need next year. We need a Horrorween track with Shane McKane doing it. We'll figure.
Well, yeah, I'd be down with that. You know, a little thumpkin about the pumpkin. I feel you. Yeah.
Oh, getting the blumpkin.
I would love to hear.
I kind of like that, man.
And
That'd be
Christmas.
kind of cool, man. Little pumpkin with the pumpkin. Woo! Little rockin' open. Woo! That'll be hot. Well, we'll work on it, but you know, at the moment, I ain't got anything prolific. You know, nothing that wouldn't be embarrassing to go viral.
Well, speaking of embarrassing, you have any memories of being a child and costumes that you wore, or any very things that you favored memories of Halloween from yesterday's past?
The only thing I can think of, this is kind of fucked up, but I think the first time that I ever dressed in a costume, and I can say this, proudly in the year 2021, but I put on my mother's wig, and she had these really colorful bandanas and scarves, and I put on one of her cool flowery shirts, and I was like, yo, man, I am a rock star.
Yeah.
Because, back in the day, man, they made you get these buzz cuts. Like, they were like, you look good. You look respectable. No lice can grow on your head, son. And when you graduate high school, we're going to send you to Vietnam kind of thing or whatever, that kind of bullshit. But to me, so I wasn't able to wear long hair, but all the cool motherfuckers, like all the rock stars and the hair, they all had fucking long hair. The only way I could have long hair and look like a rock star, like Robert Plant or some shit, was to put on my mother's roadkill wig, get on some of those nice kerchiefs and everything, and be looking like I was ready to get pussy. I was about ready to bang some groupies backstage. Unfortunately, my mom saw me in full regalia and did not come to the same conclusion that my son wants to be a rock star and get a lot of pussy. My mother came to the conclusion that I was not interested in women in any way, shape, or form, and secretly wanted to be one.
Yeah.
And I just remember for years, she thought I was gay, which I really, like I say, hey, by the way, I just have to say this so, because I'm so politically incorrect, but my mission statement is always to shock you, rock you, make you laugh, shock you out of your reality, rock you hard, make you laugh, give you some fun, provocative, layered quick entertainment, mind candy, But every now and then, I am actually a spiritual guy. So I will just tell you this and preface it and create a metaphorical foundation for everything else I do. When I talk about, for every joke, people, there's a fucking casualty. Yeah. Someone got to go under the bus. So we all have to take our turns going under the bus, being ridiculed to some degree, people making generalizations about us. It's part of people searching for answers. It's a coping mechanism for getting through life, laughter, shock.
It really is. Plus, I think it was so smart of Chappelle basically saying, fuck you to cancel culture. And now David Zucker just came out and finally said, this is bullshit. It's like, listen, we said shit for years that we could get away with. There's no reason why the sensitivity that we're facing now should even be here, because there's no reason. Mel Brooks said, and he's probably one of the greatest of all time. It's like, we can't keep going down this path, or else we're going to basically be changing everything as we know it. We need to have extremists, but not too radical where they actually are where it's a form of terrorism. But we need these extremists. We need extreme artists just to push boundaries and helps push the genre, because we need to know where the direction is going to go in. But we can't keep fighting this bullshit of what is perceived as what is correct and what isn't.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And unfortunately, that's a pretty serious subject. But, because really, like, when you come down to it, the spirit is the spirit. Everybody has a spirit. Nobody is better than anybody else, regardless of your race, your color, your creed, your sexuality. Nobody is better. Some people are better off because either of the choices that they've, decided to make, or because of their circumstance. But we are all.
Or if you do that, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, or say some ridiculous, dirty joke, and it's over, and it doesn't define who you are. Laugh at something that is politically incorrect. I'm sorry.
But it's so fucked up, the whole perception of just what you can say anymore, because you should be able to say what's on your mind.
I say what's on my mind. I hate to say it, but like, all right, so for my last record, I had I started it with my old producer, Chris, in the city, but we were going our separate ways. And the irony is I'll condense it all in, and people are like, what happened between you and Chris, I'm like, I don't really know. I was still a shock star, and he was, John Mayer, but gayer. People are like, wow, you said that shit. That's so fucked up. And then I went upstate and I found two other producers that are young and hungry. And I love, one of them I really liked, and he was gay. So go figure, Shane. So you made that off-color remark about Chris, which wasn't even true. And now you're a homophobe and you hate gay people, but you had a wonderful rapport with your gay producer, like it matters to me. And then I did a thing on YouTube where I said, are you kidding, man? What does GQ stand for? Goddamn queer. Are you kidding? I look good. All the gay guys are always the best looking. I'm proud to look fucking queer as hell. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm a sexy beast, super hot. Bitches thinking I'm gay and they praying I'm not. I don't have issues with it. Let it go. You drop the N-word. So what? You're not defined by your Tourette's that comes out. Everybody laughs at a dirty joke. There's no black and white here. It's gray, everybody. It's gray. Get over it. We're going to have dirty jokes. We're going to say things to people that we don't mean. Yeah. You're angry at a woman. And so you're not thinking about who you are as a human being, about in the inners of your soul, what you really feel. It's a fight. You want to create, you want to hurt the person you're angry at. And you want to yell, the C word at them. Okay, fine. But at the end of the day, hate is a boomerang, and it comes back afterwards and it hits you and you feel bad. And it's like, and you know that you don't disrespect women. You drop the N-word. You're really angry at a black guy that called you some names and you want to hurt him. So you drop the fucking N-word, and in your heart, you don't have that. You're not a racist, but you want to hurt the guy. And then after you do it, it comes back and you say, wow, I fucking feel shitty that I said that. I don't hate black people. It's fucking stupid. I'm almost embarrassed at the idea that I said that and that I made that generalization, real or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but if there's anything I really advocate, and it's taboo, but I don't really care. What can I say? I'm not worried about being blacklisted. As a matter of fact, in the year 2021, I find the term blacklisted very, very politically incorrect. Why can't it just be neutrally ostracized?
Listed.
Come on, people. Let's just get over it. Nobody is defined by an angry moment, by a racial slur, by saying something to a woman that you are ashamed of 15 minutes later. We are not perfect. Jesus said it. Forgive them, Lord, for they don't know what they do. When I was 13, I actually said, when they were trying to, tell me that the Jews were the chosen people and all this shit, and I was like, all right. And I'm kind of getting why there might be some anti-Semitism in the world, because you can't say God likes us better than you and not expect people to be like, fuck you. Even in religious wars, at 13, I said, when man kills man, the spirit dies. Both sides pray and the same God cries, The only thing I know about God, I ain't him. Other than that, it's all faith and speculation. You know what I'm saying, man? So I guess I'm kind of, reiterating what you were saying, about enough's enough. Like, let's just stop metaphorically crucifying each other for one isolated sentence or deed. We are not defined by those things.
Yeah.
If that were the case, then Derek Jeter would have been dropped from the New York Yankees after he hit 10 home runs and struck out once. That's it. Get out. That's not how it works.
No.
Yeah, we need to realize that we are emotional creatures. We are imperfect. That's why we are able to forgive each other for the things that we impulsively say.
And what's fucked up as the species, as we are, if as accomplished as you can be, if you do something wrong that is perceived as with certain negative context, they'll be like, oh yeah, and he's known for doing this, and they'll mention the negative instead of all this amazing positive stuff that a certain individual may have done. It's like we are so quick to judge someone in a negative light, and as a species, it is so unfair, even if that person has done so many accomplishments in whatever trade or field that they're in.
Right, exactly. You just reiterated my philosophy exactly. So let's lighten up on each other, and try to see the gray. Well, unfortunately, that's not what's happening now, and it's just getting more and more.
We're looking to see the orange. We're taking it in the orange direction. Now that we're in the orange direction, guys, we just hit 5 o'clock, Holmes. We got a lot of footage that we got to gather through. But I want to get
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I've said everything. I have explained the whole circumference, the whole circle. We've gone full circle.
Oh yeah.
My interview should be like a circle jerk. I love it. Just like orange, like a big
You are
pumpkin.
the pinnacle.
Orange.
I am a pinnacle, but not a pencil prick. And that's what I want to leave y'all with. That lesson right there. I do not have a cock like a thermometer, but I get hot. Okay.
And with that being said, we thank you everybody for listening. We thank everybody for being on the show. Shane, Billy, Alexander, Bobito in the building.
That's what's up. Nice to meet you guys as well, man. It was fun with the verbal volley. It was a good time. Big love,
Always a pleasure. We'll have you back on one of the regular shows ASAP, and we're gonna get you back in the filming world. I want to hear some new Insane Shane McKane music. God damn it!
God damn it! So do I.
Fuck yeah!
I guess I'll have to be the one that makes. I'll have to make it happen. But
unfortunately, yeah. It's better.
I can't wait to hear what you come up with next.
I'll get you some music for him to hear. Billboy.
That's what's up, man. I want a fan base. I want a man base. I want the whole goddamn thing. Bros before hoes. That's what's up. And on that note, everybody, I say to you, thank you, Matt, for having me. Peace on the side. Boom.
Yes.
That's it. Feel free to That's it. Feel free to hang up on me anytime. That's what bitches do.
Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. And with that, we end our Halloween show. And we hoped you enjoyed it. We had the great Joe Knetter and Sarah French that are making huge waves in the indie horror community with their film Pretty Boy. We had Richard Stanley, who was the director of some great cult classics like Hardware and Color Outer Space. We also had Tommy McLoughlin, that directed one of the best Friday the 13th movies, Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, and Stephen King classic, Sometimes They Come Back. Then we end our show with Insane Shane McKane, the shock country rapper himself, to throw a little spice onto our show. The Boombastic family wants to thank you that you took this wild Halloween ride with us. And until next year, stay spooky. Peace.
Now there are 9. There'll be more, many more. They're coming for me now. And then they'll come for you.